And we're here for 4 exciting days of sailing competition. But there's not only sailing on the seas, there's the best in entertainment, and if you're hungry, the best in native dishes. I'm joined on the broadcast over the next 4 days by, I call him the Bob Costas of sailing calling here in the Bahamas, Mr. Dwight Hart. And I asked him this morning, it was quite cold if he brought this weather in from Canada, but it looked like the sailing gods wants to see some good sailing today. So the weather has cleared up and is perfect sailing condition. Also joining us here this morning is Dwayne Higgins. He's known throughout the Bahamas as those Higgins boys are synonymous with sailing here in the Bahamas. Welcome, guys, and we are in for some 4 good days of sailing.
Absolutely, Charles, and good morning to you. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Bahamas sailing fans all over the country and all over the world. Now that we have sailing being broadcasted over the internet and on ZNS and elsewhere. Charles, I believe we're going to be in for some excellent sailing, and I believe I'm going to be backed up by Mr. Higgins on that in short order. As you know, we have 4 classes of sailing happening, beginning with the E-class, getting ready in a couple of minutes. Wind conditions right now are slightly down. Perfect probably for the E-class, not so much for the bigger boats, and Dwayne will chime in on that, I'm sure. But I believe by the time we get to Sunday, when we have the best of the best, we're going to have some good sailing. Dwayne?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We are looking forward to a workshop in sailing. A lot of the juniors are mastering the sailing in the E-class in particular. And, of course, we have some veterans there as well. And we have a good representation of sailing throughout the Bahamas. As Fisher would have said earlier, from Inagua in the south to Abaco in the north, we have every island basically represented in the class that we're about to see this morning.
Great.
And the sailors look forward to this year. We have Long Island, we have Georgetown, we have Black Point, we have Long Island. But those are thrown out right now. It's this what matters. It's this what matters, and it all comes down to Sunday.
Right, definitely. And Sunday is the showdown. That is where the best of all within the Bahamas, all that the country has to offer in terms of local sloop sailing. We're going to actually see those showcased on Sunday in particular.
Yeah, and you know, Fish, there are a couple of sailing chats that both you and I, Dwayne, also are part of.
Yes.
And trash talking has been going on from last year, December, right around the same time.
Definitely.
And we had a little shake-up, I believe you could call it, upset, some may call it,
yes.
at the 2023 Best of the Best, where the expected did not win. Did not win, right?
Did not win.
And so there's some revenge in mind. There's some comeback, but then also, you know, the guys that won are going to look to repeat.
To repeat, yes.
So to speak. So all kinds of storylines, I think, developing for this one. But all of that adds to the excitement of what is now turned out to be the premier sailing event on the sailing calendar. Something that, you know, you could call it the Super Bowl of sailing in the Bahamas. And outside, obviously, the National Family Island Regatta, which draws the same amount of sloops. This one is definitely now the top dog in sailing, and I think we're all looking forward to it, sailors particularly.
Yes.
Last year it was the silent partner in Class A. They did that one in memory of Lundy Robinson. Spoke to Chucky a few minutes ago. He said the boat is ready. It was Susan Chase in Class B and Sassy Sue in Class C. Stefan was a bit mad because he wanted to go for the trifecta. How are we shaping up this year?
Well, you know, I'll say this, right? And obviously Stefan has put himself in a class beyond everybody else, right? He's the hunted when you come to these regattas, and he demonstrates that doesn't matter which boat he gets into, that he's able to sail. But I'll tell you, the Whitty K, which was a boat that he formerly sailed on,
yes.
I believe if she did not sink on, I think it was either the first or the second day of sailing, I think she would have been up there and would have been, because she had been sailing pretty well. I think she won 2 out of the first 3 races, I believe, or first and second, something like that. So I think Stefan got lucky, so to speak. I mean, I hate to use that word with Stefan, but you know, hey, the misfortune, I believe, of the Whitty K allowed him to get into sea and not have as stiff as competition as I believe the Whitty would have given him. But we'll see. You know, the other boats in the C class coming up, you know, It Ain't Right is a boat that is always there.
Former champion.
Right, former champion, obviously. Yeah. She came into Rollville in August and dominated there. You can never discount Buzzy in Bull Reg. He's always, you know, in the mix. You have Xena, another boat out of Long Island, who, you know, David and that crew is going to be there. Sacrifice is saying that they're going to be in the mix this year. The up-and-coming sailors out of Exuma, guys sailing on Bull Rich, some of the younger skippers, and Black Point.
Confusion as well.
Confusion as well.
Your
Absolutely.
Pride. And,
yep.
So I believe, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
sure.
I believe we have a very competitive fleet.
Yes.
Once again, this is the best of the best.
Absolutely.
So literally you have all the best boats that have come with the best crew, the best equipment, the best built, the best maintained, the best all around. So you're gonna actually get to see what all the skill comes in. And let's not discount the fact that penalties sometimes cause champions to emerge. You have unforced errors, the sinking of another boat, and you benefit by virtue of not sinking. Yep. And that's a part of sailing.
Yeah. So just to add to that, you know, that's why it's so critical in these first three races, right? That your sailing skills, I believe, more so than anything else, because particularly in the C class, where you have 30-something boats, right? I mean, the possibility of an accident on the starting line or coming to one of the marks just increases, right? And so you have to stay out of trouble, really, so that you can get to Sunday where you can then determine whether you are one of the best at best. Charles?
And if you're watching for the first time and you're hearing them keep saying that sailing on Sunday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that is when they accumulate points to get to the Sunday. So you could win Thursday, you could win Friday, you could win Saturday, and you could lose on Sunday, and you'll not be the best of the best. And that's very hateful.
And I like the format because what it does is it puts 30-plus C class. I think registered there were over 20 of the E class. The bigger classes are smaller in terms of number. But when you now have those 3 days to really vie for a position, and then at the end, it's almost like in the Olympics. You have all of your relays, and no matter how well you do in the relays, once you get to that last race, it's who actually stands out. And that's the format that we're following right here. The best of the best.
No, definitely. I think the format is sitting well with the sailors, and this year we have the added addition of having tracking devices on some of the boats. I think 12 boats in the first 3 rounds, and by the time we get to the final round on Sunday, all of the boats will be tracked. What that does, Dwayne, it's very interesting. I think the very first best of the best, we had tracking devices because the star class sailors were here at the time, and we used their equipment. But there's always been this misnomer about how fast these boats sail.
Are actually going,
and who sails fast. I mean, I've heard these astronomical figures about 15 and 20 and all this.
And that's not even practical.
It is totally just
maybe
fantasy.
8 knots on a perfect day.
I believe the fastest speed I saw during that event was high 7 point something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And what was more surprising, Charles, was in the 3 classes, C, B, and A, they're all getting almost the same exact speed. Right? And I thought that was unique. And so what it says is it has nothing to do with hull speed across the water.
It's management. Right? A lot of it management. And the other thing, Dwight, what we have to bear in mind is, we're governed by rules. And many times, the best sailors know how to manipulate rules. Right. Those who are not so good tend to end on the short end of it. But it's learning the rules, manipulating them to
Use
your
them to the
advantage.
advantage,
And just not breaking them.
Right.
Because once you break rules,
Right.
then the expectation is that penalties are going to follow.
Right.
That's just natural.
Right.
Just to let folks know, we are still waiting on the E-class sloops. Some of them are out there already to sail. And we're talking about competition among the boats. But I think this is more about which island has the best skippers. They call Exuma the sailing capital of the Bahamas, but the boys down in Long Island have something to say about that. Auckland have something to say about that. Even here in New Providence and those other islands.
And that Exuma thing is a misnomer because Dwight knows the history well enough to know that the National Family Island Regatta was simply Elizabeth Harbor was the meeting place for all fishermen, all spongers, all whatever during the break. And this is the time that we now get to wrangle. During the 40, 50 years of my life, I've literally seen different iterations of stellar sailors. You've had Androsians who have been the good ones.
Yep.
You've had Abaco with Scott Weatherford for years in the Abaco Rage and all of those. Then you had Long Island, you had Exuma, you had some in the southeast as well.
Yeah.
But the southeast is kind of mixed up because you got Auckland's Crooked Island, Megwan and all of that. So they are all grouped as one. But we have had different phases. Long Island just happens to be at this point. They're the dominate.
And they talk about the manipulation in sailing. I see Dwight with this manipulative smile saying, what is niggas talking about? Because the best cup is definitely coming.
I'm gonna stand down to a man who knows history, right? And he's able to announce it without even checking his notes.
Because Raleigh Gray was only able to win all of those championships with a Long Island boat, not an Exuma boat.
Well, again,
that's the minute.
After getting the daylight scale on us.
Yes.
So that's the 1 minute gun for the E-class about to get started. Well, as a matter of fact, I believe that may have been the start. Yep, I think that they're heaving and hoving out there.
Pulling.
And so E-class racing underway. We will get at some point a tally of the boats, some of the names. We have a list, not an official list, but something that we'll be able to go through and chime in. So Dwayne, I know that you are with the Ministry of Education and the student development aspect section, and so sailing and getting young kids involved in sailing, I believe, is part of what you're doing. So you want to maybe talk a little bit about that, and I'm just going to try to track down
It's definitely a mandate of our minister, the Honorable Glenna Martin. She wants to give our students as many opportunities by way of sports to excel. In fact, a more wholesome, well-rounded experience for students. And we are intentional. Earlier this year, January, we would have established 11 junior sailing clubs in 4 primary schools. There would be 4 junior high schools and 3 senior high schools. And that is expected to continually grow every year so that we can, from New Providence now, so that we can build this clientele, because New Providence has 2/3 of the nation's population, and we have probably 2% of the sailors. That's unfortunate. I mean, local sailors, not necessarily the international sailors, because we're doing okay with the international sailors. We need to now balance it with the local sloops.
Are students getting into sailing because they want to go after the more popular sports like basketball, track and field? How hard is it to recruit young skippers?
Well, it's not as difficult as we think, because there are students who are looking for different experiences. For the last few months, I've been taking groups of students on the weekends. We have been sailing right off the Eastern Road there, right south or east of Royal Nassau Sailing Club. And we've been practicing, and I've had a good turnout. In fact, we're looking for more persons who could assist so that we could have more students coming out, because during their career, their club days, many of the students signed up, but unfortunately we don't have the capacity to really maintain. And the Nassau Yacht Club has also been very instrumental in supporting, because we have students from E.P. Roberts, Uriah McPhee, and Gerald Cash, I think, who was supposed to be going there on a weekly basis getting the training.
The
So we're building.
As we can see from our vantage point, the E-class sloops are out on the water. We still have the CB at 8 for today. So If you were thinking what you would do on your lunchtime today, this is the best place to come on down. We have shade out here. We have the best in food. We have the best in beverage. We have the best in entertainment. Or you can just sit back at home and watch. I know down in those family islands, their TVs are all up in the bars. And normally when you go to family islands, you see young men them on the road or sitting outside. But I know everybody today they are watching their television set because in the family island for the one of the first time I've covered regattas, long time ago, and I see how they take this so serious. And rowing, what I think was rowing, but it was just back and forth talk.
Just trash talking.
So I know that those establishments in the family islands are extremely full from this morning until later on this evening, watching sailing all day. And guess what? As a treat, early Christmas gift. You have 4 days of this, so Christmas came early.
Oh, yes.
Yep. All right. So, Fish, I've got the names of the boats. I believe the list that we have covers all of the boats, and looks like we have Two Brothers, Baby Wave, Day of Reckoning, Baby Thunderbird, Empress, Sugarloaf, The Independence, Captain Peg, Blue Marlin, Bluebird, One Bahamas, Miss Agnes, Melchizedek, I believe I said that correctly.
Yes.
Mako, Judgment Day, Lady Kayla, Wave Maker, Bird Rock, Baintown Woman, and Early Bird.
Lady Zari has been left out.
Lady Zari's been left out a while.
Yes, and I can tell you about Lady Zari because these hands constructed that one.
Give us some education about these boats for folks that are watching for the first time and want to know how many persons are on the boat, the constructive, the size, and stuff like that.
Well, these are all wooden boats designed by Bahamians, unique to the different islands. You can see the shape, the style, which reflects the islands, whether it's Long Island, Exuma. We have had a hybrid of sorts in some that Sheldon Gibson has built. They're 12 feet long. This is the only class among all of our classes that we restrict the dimensions. For example, they can only be 12 feet long, 2 inches, 12 feet, 2 inches at most. The mast is 18 feet, 6 inches from the deck up. The boom is 12 feet long, and they basically carry a crew of 2. But smaller kids, in stronger wind, you can get probably 3 in a boat. But these are all, like I said, they're totally wooden, made of local frames, depending on your island. For example, Andros may construct their boats out of horse flesh, which is popular down in Mangrove Key, South Andros, where in other islands may have had to use, say, corkwood, which is near the water in many of the islands, or they may just have to use wild tamarind. Whatever hardwood that's available to that island, because there are other woods that I'm not aware of, but different islands, because of what's there, they use those to construct the boats.
All right. Well, again, gentlemen, as we can see, E-class boats are out there. Some boats seemingly having a little bit of wind and some forward progress. A couple of boats still trying to catch some wind, and so there's different angles of attack. Currently, some boats on the port, some on starboard. Not sure exactly the layout of this course. Dwayne, you may be able to give us a little bit of insight into that.
Well, the wind is coming out of the northeast. It's probably between 5 and 8 miles an hour. So they're not making a lot of speed, but there's a windward mark that they would go to. I saw it a minute ago, but it's basically from our vantage point, we'd be looking a little east out there. Right. So they're going there. Most likely they're going to go to a lower buoy. In lighter winds, they try to make the race a little more manageable. Right. Because you have to bear in mind time and all the other races that have to come in. So they may not have a full triangle, but generally they have a triangular race where you have an upwind, a downwind, and somewhat of a reach.
Right. Okay. So as I look straight ahead, I can see we can see a mark basically in the center of Montague Harbor.
Right.
From where we sit. Dwayne, is this E-Class race today, or for the best of the best, an open E-Class, or is it a juniors E-Class? Because I was hearing that there's maybe a hybrid system where, depending on who's at the tiller, it's going to be a junior race. If you have someone under the age of the senior
18.
sailors, 18,
Right.
and then so you could have in this race, we're going to have two separate champions.
The same champion as well for both.
Right.
But it is a hybrid situation. What has happened is there are some boats that are fully crewed by juniors.
Right.
And there are some who are crewed by the adults.
Right.
So to make it fair to everyone, the committee decided to award 2 championships
within the one race.
Within the one race,
Right.
so, because time wouldn't have allowed for
2 separate
races.
E-classes, right?
It wouldn't have been a
Okay,
problem.
so just elaborate on that just a little bit. So if you have 2 under 18s on your boat, it's a junior.
Correct.
If you have a 25-year-old who is on a boat, but a 17-year-old who's on a tiller, it's still a junior. Yes or no?
That's not my understanding, but my understanding may be incorrect.
Right. Okay. So that's what I thought that I understood. That as long as that the class will be determined by who is holding the tiller. So if you have a junior on the tiller, then you'll be in the junior class. And as long as and then if you have someone over the age of 18 holding the tiller, then you then move up to the senior class, even if your second crewman is under.
Well, I didn't understand it that way.
Right.
I understood it to be the full crew has to be junior.
Okay.
Because it creates an unfair advantage.
Right.
If you have two
juniors,
12-year-olds versus one 12-year-old and a 25-year-old.
Understood.
No, that's not fair. But then again, my understanding is not.
Okay, so there we have for our first view of one of the class. I think Baby Wave.
Baby Wave.
I know Baby Wave used to be in Exuma, but no longer in Exuma.
That's not now the Bahamas National Sailing School.
Right.
Operating out of the Nassau Yacht Club.
And we have another boat now just kind of going backwards.
Going nowhere.
Trying to get some wind.
Yes, number one. I'm not sure who number 1 is. But she is really not making
any forward progress.
Much speed.
And as we get along and get going, we will certainly start to pick up on the names of these boats, and that may be Bluebird. I think I can. My old eyes are starting to see some things.
I'm not sure. But it does look like there's a boat on the starboard tack heading north, of course. That seems to be, they just tacked the head south. I'm not sure who that boat is. I wish we had a better vantage there.
Right. We'll get to sail numbers. Certainly by tomorrow we'll have all the sail numbers and a better take on the names.
On who's
who.
And then also the crew.
Yes.
It's good to know who's crewing these boats because especially with the junior sailors, they're really doing very well locally, and we really need to promote them.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree with that. All right, let me see. No names for E-Class.
Oh, the strip Blue Wave.
Yeah, Baby Wave.
Baby Wave.
Yeah.
And I guess at some point I believe, Dwayne, if we look all the way out to the center of the harbor, that there is one boat in particular that is moving towards what we believe is the...
To be the weather mark.
The weather mark.
Yeah, the windward mark, sorry, not weather.
Windward, right.
Yes.
And then once they go around that, the expectation is that they will then come back downwind. I'm not sure.
Well, there's a lower mark right down here at the northeastern point there.
Right,
yeah.
okay. Right, okay. I think I can see a mark just below one of these, the boom here of...
Barbarian.
One of the boats, right. Okay.
Here's the last year's champion coming, Spoten, as the old people would say.
Finally getting our first drone view up. And for those of you who are trying to follow, if you're at home, I believe the Regatta Desk Facebook page is carrying everything live at Charles, I'm not sure. Are we
Yes.
on live on ZNS or not?
Live on ZNS,
Live on
live
ZNS,
on
also
Facebook,
on
and
Facebook.
live on local government.
All right. And so,
We're really
This is the
advanced.
national sport,
Yeah,
you know,
we're
so-
really advanced. And the irony is, about 20 years ago, there used to be a lot of live coverage
Of sailing.
slots,
Right.
National Family Island Regatta in particular.
Right.
And then we kind of fell off after a while.
Right.
But I'm glad that we have taken it really to the next level and shown our commitment by doing so.
well, you know, there was a young man who started a radio station in Exuma some years back, 2006, 7, I think it was, and decided
You
that
wouldn't happen to know him.
and he decided
It's
that
a
he
pretty
would,
good friend of his.
he would broadcast regattas over the radio.
Oh, wow.
And I
Yes.
believe he coined the phrase "buoy to buoy,"
Buoy to buoy.
radio broadcast, and I think that started the renaissance of bringing sailing back
Making
into
it
the
live.
broadcast and making it
Yes.
live. And from
Yes.
that, we've transitioned. Obviously, now where most of the regattas now are starting to carry
There's
some type of
some kind of footage
yeah,
that's
footage.
happening.
And live too, right?
Yes.
And with the technology that's now available, fairly inexpensive drones.
Yes.
And these guys have figured out now how to take a drone and convert that to a stream, a live stream, and so
Yes.
and it fits, right? Because I mean, for a Mangrove Key regatta, for a Ruleville regatta, for example,
Right.
you don't need a full big production, right?
Yes.
You just want to be able to
Get
have
the
some
footage.
coverage. Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
And so you have some, guys like Carson Gray and Exuma who are doing things like that.
Oh, and he's doing a phenomenal job,
Absolutely,
by the way.
absolutely.
I watch a lot of the smaller regattas
Yeah, yeah.
on Facebook
Yeah, yeah.
because I can't get
Get to
there,
it, right.
but I can actually get there.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
There is a boat that's heading north. I'm not sure if they're making the mark. If they are considerable distance. ahead
Well,
of
on your
everybody.
screens, gentlemen, you can see right now you're about to have some cutting action going on. It looks like that may be Captain Peg, not sure. And Dwayne, we were talking about Lady Zari, and with this
No, that-
lime green, is that not Lady Zari?
No, that the one out front there seems to be
Maybe Captain Lauren out of Long Island?
Lady Anne Marie, maybe.
Maybe Lady Anne Marie.
But
Okay, so
I can't tell right off. But
they definitely got one boat going around the mark, and we can see, I believe, that this is the boat that's currently
yeah,
in first
that one
place.
is definitely in front, and it has a good amount of boat lengths ahead of the next boat.
Here comes your second and third place boat.
Yeah, that's Judgment Day. And then Captain Peg is to the lee of her, but Captain Peg can't make the mark. No, sorry, that's Mako. not
And due
Captain
to our
Peg, that's Mako.
experience in terms of sailing, I'm looking at some of the boats, look like they're stalling. Is this enough? Is the wind out there blowing the right way? Is it perfect?
It is.
Light.
It's light, but it's still manageable. As we look out, you can see that there's a steady stream of air. You can see the ripples on the water. The challenge that we're having right now is you have the tide that fortunately the tide, I believe, is flowing, which
their
means
favor.
that it's actually heading east.
Right.
So it's helping the boats that are coming to the mark.
First
to the-
collision about to happen, gentlemen? Yes or no?
But that's Mako.
no.
Buoy room that had to be given to Mako because he had the inside advantage there.
All right.
The unfortunate thing is now he is to the lee of each of those boats
That's
that he was
going to
ahead
get
of.
left behind.
Yeah, in fact, the air is gone. They're going to block his air.
All right.
Okay, that's Bluebird there going, heading up.
So we have 4 boats now coming back down towards the lower mark. And I believe, Dwayne, you were able to
Yeah.
call, I think.
So we have Judgment Day. We have Captain Peg. I'm not sure who number 2. Oh, I think number 2
29.
is the, 29 is Mako.
Mako.
But I think number 2 is Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf.
I think, but I'm not sure.
Right.
I think it's time that you put the logos on these sails so that we
Right.
can recognize them.
No, for sure.
We've been fighting for that for years, and we're still
Yeah.
fighting for that.
The names,
Even
at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
So you can recognize it's the sails that they see out there. They don't see the bottom of the boats
Yes.
because
Right.
the boats and the water are basically the same color. So looking at it right now, if you see a big yellow, you say, "Oh, that's a
At least
yellow
you
boat."
know.
Right.
Yeah, you
so,
know.
So what's holding that up?
There's only one regatta where that's a challenge. And we are fighting that, and that's a ridiculous fight. We should not have to be dealing with. Owners, it's too expensive to maintain, so that's one Bahamas.
One Bahamas.
One Bahamas.
Right. So number 20. That's number 2.
Yeah, so number 2 is one
Bahamas.
Bahamas. She normally wears number 1, doesn't she?
Well, you know, she is a part of the Exuma Sailing Club, and
Right.
so they may have interchangeable sails,
Correct.
depending on which boats they bring to the regatta.
To the regatta, yes.
Right.
Because we saw a number 1 earlier,
Yeah.
but that one seems to be further back, much further back.
All right, and somebody with a T as a number on the sail.
No, that's Judgment Day.
All right, Judgment Day.
That's actually number 7.
That's a 7. That's a
Yes.
funny looking 7.
Yeah, but it's a 7. Yeah, it's 7. I'm not sure who number 22 is heading towards to the windward mark, but these boats are further. Oh, that's Lady Anne Marie, number 12, going to the mark.
To the
now.
mark
So
now.
she is probably what, 5th, 6th?
Probably around 6, I believe.
Yeah, about 6 thereabouts. You know.
All right, so we're gonna kind of fiddle and faddle until we get a good idea of, you know, this drone shot. I think gives us overview that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's
maybe 8 or 9 boats that
9
have
coming down.
actually gone around.
Yeah. That looks like 10 because we didn't count this one at the low end.
Yes. So, and this boat up front obviously seems to have a sizable lead on everybody else. Now, Dwayne, looking at these boats, now, is that an E-class or C-class that just somehow got in the mix?
No, they're all E-class in that.
Even the boat at the bottom
Yeah.
left of the screen?
Yeah, that's the lead.
That's the lead boat. Now, what I find interesting is that all of the other boats have their sail to the port side, and that one boat has a sail on the starboard side.
Right. He probably sees an advantage in that, but really where the wind is coming from, it would be better to jibe over to have the sail on the port side.
Okay.
But if it's working for you,
Yeah, why change it?
why change it?
Absolutely.
And they are coming down to this lower mark here.
Yes.
I wish the race course would be closer. To the
us.
shoreline,
Yeah.
so you can actually see. Last year we had really good races that were almost right off the point here.
Right. I believe it's
Really.
just because the winds are so low that you have to kind of capture
And keep them
the
out
kind of
open.
little bit of gust that's coming through
Right.
the channel. By the time the wind gets here to shore, it's almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think we average it right now between 4 and 5. So
Right.
gotta make the best of it. All right, so sailing started, best of the best, 2024, officially underway. E-class sailing out there. Not a lot of fan interest at this point.
Normally for day number 1 around this time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Friday, some people
It's
will
a
call
work
in
day.
sick to work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Half day. Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday's definitely half day for everybody.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's Lady Kayla that's out front.
Lady Kayla.
Yeah,
All right.
Kayla.
And sailing with the
That's
Exuma
Josh.
Sailing Club and
Josh
Josh Knowles.
Knowles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Son of Dallas Knowles, Commodore of the National Fireman Regatta. And you know, they've been dominating, I believe, E-class. The Exuma Sailing Club, they have a very well-run sailing club in Exuma. I'm extremely impressed. Dallas and his wife, Tamara, and the crew that works with them every week, every 3-4 days a week, they are out there sailing.
Consistency
Yes,
is
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
order of the day.
And in addition to the E-class, they also compete in the laser
Right.
and all the other
The international
right,
classes,
right.
yeah.
So they get a lot of exposure, a lot of sailing, different types of
He
sailing.
lost some ground. The same, keeping the sail on the other side.
He finally decided to bring it back over.
He lost some ground.
And I listened to you two go back and forth a few minutes ago on the age. If this is the E class, and you want to get youngsters,
It should be juniors.
Should be juniors. Should be an 18-year limit on it. So a big man like you should not be sailing E class.
I don't subscribe to that.
No?
Sloop sailing in the Bahamas was based on, your boat was based on what you could afford. If I wanted to have an A-class boat like Dr. W.G. McPhee from Andros and other owners had, Emmett Monroe who just passed, they got the A-class boats, but there were other guys who weren't as
wealthy,
and they had smaller boats, so they ended up either in a E-class and so forth. You know.
Well, 2 points in that, Dwayne, because and I kind of split my thoughts on half with what Fisher said and half of what you said, right? I certainly agree that not everybody can afford a C, B, A class, and so there's a place for E class, but we also have to find a way to encourage the juniors to get them involved in sailing, right? And so I'm the chairman of the Rollville Regatta.
Yes.
And we have C class, and then we finally, recently added E class sailing.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And my position has been only juniors.
Right.
E class. Now this last year, I got my arm twisted really hard.
For the others.
Just because we had invited some E classes from outside.
Okay.
And one of them was the new E-class sailing out of Abaco that's owned by the lady.
Oh, yes. Crybaby.
Crybaby.
Yes.
And she really wanted to sail.
Yes.
And so we bent the rules for this last year just to, because she was an invited guest and we didn't want to disappoint her, so that she could sail on her boat and allowed an adult to sail, but you had to have one junior sailing with you, right? And so that may be kind of the compromise, so to speak, Fisher, where you have a senior on the boat, but have also a junior on it, so that we use it as a training ground for the young sailors coming up. Because I don't think that a 12-year-old should compete against Buzzy in a competitive race.
Why not? Why not? I compete against 80-year-olds every time I go there.
Yeah, but once you pass 18, you're a man. Once you pass 18, you're a man.
It's not even a good
Well, let me put it this way.
Yeah, 80-year-old should have retired.
When I first started sailing, and actively sailing the boat, captaining the boat, I was in my 20s. And the thing is, I'm sailing against veterans who are, so many decades in it. For me, the compromise is not so much just bringing them in at your regatta. It's actually creating signature events where it's exclusively a junior event.
Well, agreed.
Not just Sir Durwood Knowles Junior Championship.
Right. Okay.
There should be at least a circuit for junior.
Now I think
That's where
we're cooking with oil there. Yes, and and certainly that is. Yeah, I would support that because, before E-Class made a comeback, because, up to a couple of years ago, they weren't in E-Class sail at all. It had died, right?
That's a few, yes.
The juniors had to sail on the C-Class.
Right.
And most of the, well, not most, but a lot of C-Class owners were reluctant to release their boat to juniors, right? Because, they damaged
the timing
boat
just
and so
wasn't right.
So
sailing on Tuesday, the junior sail on Tuesday, the regatta started Wednesday. If you broke a mast, broke a boom, damaged your boat, then you couldn't compete. It wasn't a good situation.
All right, so let's kind of get back to what we see and the viewers at home are watching right now.
That's Crybaby and Sugarloaf.
All right, so Crybaby on your left
is the boat
to the left
is the
blue boat,
greenish, blue.
And Sugarloaf with the bright yellow, lime green.
Yeah, number 110. That sail isn't fitting very well. But I guess they feel that works for them.
And just to her, on her port side is the boat that without a number. Is that the one you're saying is Crybaby?
That looks like no.
Yes, Crybaby just did attack, right? And you can see
the boat that would have just
one
gone,
Bahamas, I believe, underneath her. I believe, and we
maybe, I'm not sure. not
Yeah, the
very,
sun.
it's not very clear.
The glare is not getting us, but we will get it figured out
Yes.
before it's all over and done with.
But we have a few of them that have already come around the mark. They're headed again
Back up for their second lap.
for the second lap, yeah. While we still have more than half of the fleet
Who have not gone
still
around the
coming
first
down.
time. Yeah.
Still coming down.
Yeah, so the winners, the top, I believe, 5 or so boats are going to separate themselves quite nicely from the rest of the fleet.
So how many of these boats move on to Sunday in the E-class? Do you know how they doing it? A, B, C?
Is it 8?
In the E-class, I think it's going to be 8.
Uh-huh.
All right, because we're starting off, I believe, with a fleet of 20. I think C will carry 10, I believe.
I think it's
10.
10.
B will carry 5, I think. And so A will carry 5.
Right. I think they were trying to make it proportional to the
Size of the fleet.
To the size of the fleet. Which
So,
which
yeah,
is
percentage.
more
A
fair.
percentage of the fleet,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got some word this morning, right now, sitting down out here, that Original and New Courageous will not be competing. They have pulled
Right.
out this year. I was looking forward to them.
And understandable
Yeah, but,
that
in the
recent
recent-
passing of
yeah.
Yes. And-
Captain Monroe.
And definitely Jed and Sean, I know they would have wanted to have the boat out, but like Jed would have indicated, his mind just isn't there.
Right.
You know, then you still have to honor your father in different ways.
All right, and so we, I can't say that the current boat on screen is the lead boat. I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's not.
I think this is a boat probably just trying to catch up. This may be the back of the fleet more so than the front of the fleet.
Well, it's more the middle because there's still quite a bit that have to come around the lower mark.
And here's a drone back up and running, and I think, Dwayne, that the boats that we see now are in the
Okay.
top 5.
Okay, that's Baintown Woman on the lee side. Number 11, I can't remember who number 11 is. But
It seems to be a nice little dogfight
Yeah.
between these two boats.
71. Oh, sorry. I should know which boat that is. That's Zari.
And we didn't call Zari's name initially
At all.
because she wasn't on the list that we have. But I did, when I counted, I think I counted 21, and my list only has 20.
Okay.
So Zari must be the 21st boat.
Yes.
And I think, as you can see now, this is the remainder of the fleet.
fleet.
Now just going around
Yes.
the lower mark, eh? Is this?
Yeah, that's a lower mark.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
we
think it looks like there's only one more that is to come around. So that one is pretty far out.
Right.
Yeah.
The good thing is, as we move up to the C-class, most of the C-class boats do have recognizable numbers.
Yes.
And some of
Yes.
them fairly well known to us, so we should be able to.
Catch on.
Yeah.
Right. And then there are a few names that we would have called that I'm sure they're brand new boats.
Right.
So
Yes.
we wouldn't have seen them
exactly,
before.
Exactly.
And what I like about what Dallas and the National Family Island Regatta has been doing, they've been keeping a registry of the boats and their numbers.
Oh.
So when a new boat comes in, we get a number from National Family Island Regatta.
Right. You don't just pick a number out of the sky.
Right,
Yeah.
so that there's a record, there's a tracking,
Yeah.
and you don't end up with two boats with the same number.
numbers. Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think I'm happy to see to this point that we did not see any collisions ourselves. I'm not sure there were
Right.
any. So that tells me that these young skippers have all been sailing cleanly.
Yes.
There's enough separation. We did have a close call, I think, at the first mark. 3 or 4
Yes.
boats there, but they all managed to
Give way.
give
and-
way
Yes.
and be respectful to go around the buoy. Because again, and this is something that, I tell some of the senior sailors about, right?
Yes.
You cannot make it to Sunday if you get penalties.
No.
One
Or if you
bad
damage
penalty,
your boat.
Yeah.
or if you damage your boat, right? Because
Damage your boat,
one
then.
race can put you so far down that it doesn't matter if you win the next 2 races, you still can't make it to.
A port and starboard collision is a 5-point penalty.
Right.
I mean, if you can afford to lose 5 points, there's no one in this fleet who can lose 5 points.
Yeah, and still expect
and still win.
Yeah.
You know,
to
it's
get there.
very difficult to do that.
Yeah. So stay away, right? Avoid mishaps, collisions at all costs. Even if you lose one place.
At least that's only one place you would have lost.
Yeah.
You know. And one thing I learned from the late Lundy Robinson, and he said, if you want to win a championship, you have to avoid accidents.
Yes.
And that's the thing I try to avoid. But unfortunately, there are times when you do get in little situations. But our intent is to avoid
at all costs.
At all costs.
I know some sailors personally who got the exact opposite approach.
Yeah, they will push it. They'll push it. In fact, they'll dare you.
they will tell you, right? They will tell you before the race, if you do this, I gonna do this.
That's right.
Right? And I say, sometimes, Charles, and you wake up some mornings and you got like 300, 400, 500 messages, right, in your chat with these sailors back and forth, right? And let me tell you.
You mute those.
Yeah, mine is on.
But they're still there when you open.
It's still there, right? So I do a lot of deleting, right? Just clear.
Right.
But in those messages, if you take the time sometimes to go through them and you listen to some of the nonsense that you hear, it's just ridiculous.
And we can see the crowd now starting to arrive. The big screen is out. We have some folks sitting in front of it. They probably were going through their messages all morning after what happened yesterday and to finally get through all and say, okay, now it's time to go to get to some real fun.
Right.
And then it's still pretty early on a Thursday, which is a weekday. People are working.
Not to say it, but it is. I think that by the time the C class comes around, that's the big boys of sailing.
Yeah, it starts to build.
Yeah, it starts to build. So
it builds.
They're home watching on TV, eating the nice food, and then they're going to come out and watch some sailing in person and then meet some friends. This is what I like about the best of the best. It's more of a family island.
Yes.
Family reunion. Family kids can come out here and have fun. And I told Dwight this morning, you can come. I don't see no need for no security or police because we don't have that kind of activities. It is clean fun.
Yep.
You may see you guys from sailing round, but if you don't know, that's just the way you talk to one another. And you'll never see no blows thrown, no
nothing to it.
bad words said. And then at the end of the day, you say, hey, let's go down the road and get
But
something.
sometimes there are some bad words said.
I was about to correct.
But it's just that you don't take it personally. You don't take it personally.
Well,
that's what I love.
My good friend Scott Hart from Long Island with the running tide. I ran into him this morning at breakfast, and for those that follow sailing, there was a belief that the A class in Georgetown somehow was taken away from Running Tide, and and those guys took it hard after April, and there was a lot of back and forth and
a lot of things said.
A lot of things said, right? And and for a while I thought that this was going to be the end of sailing, particularly in A class. But I saw Scott this morning, and Scott said he said Dwight, that is behind me, right? He said that is behind me. I don't like what happened, but that is behind me, and as long as you don't take the race from me, we are going to win, right? And I like that spirit, and I congratulate Scott and the Running Tide crew for putting whatever they think may have gone wrong in their favor behind them and coming back out ready to compete again. And I expect that is always going to happen, right? There are going to be some, tears shed and words said after a race, because at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, right? And we would like to always believe that
it'll be me.
Well, not only that, but that the winner won fairly, even if it meant you won because somebody got penalized, because it's not your fault that that another boat got penalized, right?
Right.
And talking about winners, I was looking at, there's a boat parked here in the harbor now, decorated from top to bottom with flags. And I thought that it was a cruising yacht, but I'm just realizing that this is the champion from last year.
Yes, that's last year's champion.
I mean, they have a deck grayed out. Flying those boys, they got a deck grayed out. But again, the spirit, right? The spirit that
I
they
think
put in.
there are two that are around. coming back now, and they are very close.
All right, so on your
We have
screens
those
now,
two.
yep, we have a couple of boats now going around. A blue boat, Judgment Day, I think, you said, or Captain
No,
Peg.
that looks like Captain Peg on. No, that's not Captain Peg. That's Mako. No, yeah, that is Captain Peg.
Number 10. Yep.
Number 10 is Captain Peg.
And that is with the two young ladies, I believe.
And the Kayla is right behind them.
Number
I
7.
am trying to see which boat that is on the third from the left, but I can't.
And I think
tell.
Captain Peg was the winner from 2 years ago with the
The
two
girl
young
from
ladies
Life Key,
from
I
Life
think.
and Key. Yeah. So, again, sailing well, but there's one boat that was way out front, I believe. We said that was Lady Kayla already.
Right, no, yeah, Lady Kayla is,
Or Lady Kayla is now falling back a bit.
yes. And
So the current
Mako.
leader out front, we're not sure yet, but maybe we'll
Right.
get the drone to zoom in on the boat that's
That's actually
at the
leading now.
front of the fleet that we're looking at, a little bit
Right.
closer. Not sure that's our drone shot or our camera angle.
Right.
Our drone shot.
And then we have two that have jibed, and the others that are running with the sail on the port side.
Yep. So we can get the name of that boat just at the top of the screen. That I believe will give us an idea of who is leading the race. And let's see if we can get a sail number 17. I don't know if that helps you. Lady Kayla, number 17. There you go. And good action there from our drone. So for those of you watching at home, there is your current leader of this first race in the E-Class, Lady Kayla, sailing out of Exuma, skippered by young Joss Knowles, I believe. And so that would be a strictly junior crew on that. And there you have your shot from the Montague Fort, straight ahead, looking at Lady Kayla as she comes into our living rooms. And there's your Lady Zari, Dwayne, at the bottom of the screen. And
Yeah,
from the position she's in,
struggling.
yeah, she is.
Yeah,
struggling.
she's not in a good place.
And Joe, if you're sailing that boat, these fellas gonna have you for lunch later today. I can tell you that.
No, fortunately for him, he's
Not
not
sailing?
on the boat. There are two young sailors
Okay.
who are just getting their feet wet.
Right, right.
So he has some redeeming grace. if you could call it that.
Yeah.
Call it that. But the good thing about this class as well, it's a good beginner class. And beginner, whether you're a child or whether you're an adult
Right.
wanting to learn to
Right,
sail.
right. So
They're
kind of
very manageable.
where I would start if I decided to get into sailing.
They're very manageable in terms of they're on a trailer. You can roll them down the ramp.
Right.
You can rig them up yourself.
Right,
And
right.
then you can unrig them.
Yes.
All by yourself.
Right.
You don't need anybody else.
Right.
You don't need any crane or anything like that.
All right, so top 3 boats, I believe, in front of us right now. We would have indicated that we believe,
Yeah.
not believe, but Lady Kayla, that we know
Lady
for
Kayla,
sure.
and then Captain Peg is to the left of our screen.
Yep, at the bottom. And
At this bottom here is Mako.
so
I'm
Mako
not sure who the
currently,
other is.
we believe, in 4th place. And we're going to zoom right in on this boat right now. I believe that's one of the red boats.
Is it?
Not sure. Let's see if we can
I'm
zoom
not
around
sure.
and get a better, maybe one Bahamas. We'll see.
And then there's no numbering on the sail, so that makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah, and with the sun not being as bright as it can, but I believe that's one Bahamas.
Okay.
We'll see as they get closer.
But these first 4 are relatively close compared to
The
all
rest
the
of the
others.
fleet, yes.
Right.
And just for those watching and listening at home, I believe the the plan is to have a chase boat, beginning with the C class, where we'll have a boat right up on the mark.
Oh,
so with
perfect.
a camera,
Perfect.
and also someone who's going to be able to identify the boats and call them back
Yes.
to us.
Yeah.
So we will have a better idea of who we're talking about. Another shot of Lady Kayla as she is weaving and bobbing her way down towards what I believe is going to be the finish line, because I think this is 2 laps.
Yeah,
Dwayne.
this would be the end of the second lap, and I don't think they're going to go another lap.
They already got off to a late start. We still have 3 more
Yes.
races here to go.
Yeah, and we are getting requests. I see my chat lighting up with some requests, some requests that we can't really give as yet because there's people asking for additional information, boat captains and where they're from and so forth. And we will have that information as the day goes on. So for those of you who
Yes.
have been asking, we intend to have that information. And as we get into the more known
Yeah, they had the
races.
registration
Yes.
Yeah.
last night, and
Yeah.
according to Cindy Gay, regardless, they're still typing it up.
Yeah.
They went.
Okay.
They had to get up
Yes.
there early this morning, get some stuff
Right, put it
together.
together.
And some captains have switched up on some other boats. So
Yeah, bear with us.
Yeah.
Tomorrow for sure we will be fully functional. C class, I believe, for the top boats, pretty easy, Fisher, because we know them.
You know the captain.
Right?
Yes.
B and A, almost a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just this class that's
Yeah.
less known.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have more detailed information as the day progresses, and certainly for tomorrow E class we will be fully functional. But a good way to get started. I mean, wind's not so high that the activities, it's hard to follow. We're able to follow.
Right.
And again, I mean, it looks like all of the boats that started are still
That
sailing.
is still sailing, yes.
Which is good. So at least you have a chance, right? Because you have to be able to at least complete a race.
Exactly.
To be in the numbers, because coming 20th today doesn't mean that you can't come first tomorrow.
Come back
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow and Saturday.
And so there is a compiled point system. So you have to just ensure that you stay in the mix. I believe any boat in the top 10,
Yes.
probably.
Yes. They're definitely in a better position.
Right.
Looks
Well,
like Lady Kayla is finished.
Yeah. And to get to Sunday, considering they're going to take, we believe, 8 boats. So once you're in that,
Every point counts.
yeah, I think anybody
Every point.
in the top 15,
Yes.
if you can stay in that top 15 for the 3 days.
And that's not so easy to do.
Yeah, I agree. Totally
People
agree.
don't realize
Right.
it's very difficult, because with the E and C class, literally who gets to the line first
Yeah.
determines the best positioning on the line.
Right.
If you get the worst position,
Right.
you're literally fighting from that.
From
and
day
with
one.
30, 25, 30 boats,
Yeah.
that's hell.
Yeah.
That's hell. So we seem to have at least 4 of them that are finished. I know Sugarloaf is one of them.
So we didn't have to hear the cannon.
No, we didn't. No, that would have been so much better, so much nicer.
All right, and it looks like, I mean, we didn't hear a gun as yet, so I don't think the race
Yeah, Lady Kayla is finished.
is finished. Done.
She is
Okay,
done.
so Lady
She is
Kayla
done.
is your winner.
Unless they have changed the finish
Point.
the finish line, and I don't see anything out here. Everybody's sail is flopping, and
Well,
at least,
I see the committee boat flag, and
yeah.
if Lady Kayla's already gone through that, then
Yeah.
that race is. Yeah,
Yeah,
looks
that's-
like they're sailing now to the anchor spot.
yeah, that's done. That's done. In fact, I think the first 5 have
through.
already finished.
All right.
More than 5 that have already finished.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we believe that the E-Class is done with for today. Unofficially, Lady Kayla Dwayne would like to go on the limb. some of my broadcasts,
I'll take the challenge. Yeah, Lady
I've
Kayla
lost
did
many limbs over the years going out there on some of my predictions and proclamations.
Yeah,
but I believe that we can be safe.
I think that's a
safe call.
that's a safe bet.
Yeah. All right. So one in the books for Lady Kayla, and we use the lowest point system here.
Yes.
So she would get one point if there weren't any penalties.
Right.
And so the boats with the lowest points are the boats that will move up the line. Yeah.
Yes. And the integration of international sailing rules into local sloop sailing rules has really added a lot to what we've been doing as well, because we did need to step up our game in the local sailing world. At least today, the start wasn't because the boats weren't
On the line.
It was simply because the wind needed that to come in.
Right.
And the fact that we're starting closer to time.
Yes.
That's a plus.
Yes.
Because we have had some days when
tell me.
it's just been horrible.
Oh.
Talking about wind, and we just had a television screen do a complete 180 on us.
I think they're doing that remote control because that's moving too
freely.
That is moving too freely. The breeze is not that strong.
And then right back to it started too.
Right.
But we can certainly tell from the ripples on the water that we do have some wind picking up, which I'm sure the guys in Class C are going to be happy.
Oh, definitely.
To see.
Definitely.
So, we are going to wrap this segment up, I think, for now, gentlemen.
We'll wait to get the official results. We'll get them to you for viewing for audience.
Yep. For the
Before
C
they
class.
start the C class, but coming up in the C class, that's what most persons come out to see, and it's going to be a tick and talk race in that one. I know the trash talking will not stop until Sunday.
Oh, it won't stop even after Sunday. It won't stop.
All right. So, Charles, it's been a pleasure, man. Dwayne, likewise.
Before we get off here, I'd just like to thank our sponsors.
Yep.
Ministry of Local Government, Paradise Cares, Ministry of Tourism, Alive Business, Apex Awards, Asa H. Pritchard, J.S. Johnson, Fidelity Bank Bahamas Limited, the Caribbean Bottling Company, Aqua Pure, SJK Engineering, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Event Managers Bahamas, Movie Production, Joey's Restaurant and Bar for making this all possible, right?
Yep. Well, again, big thank you to all of the sponsors. We believe now that the sailing is now the official sport of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We'd like to see as many as can possibly come on board corporate Bahamas to ensure that this sport that we all love so much. Dwayne, I'm not going to get into the politics of why it has taken so long for sailing to get to the point.
But Dwight, let me tell you a funny story now. How long Dwayne and I have been going on. He's been calling me, texting me. Then he had an argument. Why we have cricket? I mean,
Exactly.
sometimes I get mad at him because I thought he was taking it out on me. that sailing was not the national sport. But being a broadcaster over these last few years, I can see now why that it is the national sport. Because it is truly the only sport that has everybody from just about all the island. It is the most watched sport because other sports, I remember one time in softball, you have the crowd. That have died down. There's no baseball, there's no basketball, but you come out here to Australia and you're going to see millions. I don't know how they hold it there, but you're going to see millions of people from all over. So it is indeed the national sport.
Well, not only that, sloop sailing is indigenous, right? I mean, softball imported, baseball imported, basketball, all these are Americans, or certainly not indigenous to the Bahamas. What we have here is one of the most unique sports in all of the world. I'm not sure whether our sailing, where we start from the anchor, is repeated anywhere else that I'm aware of. Most of the other sailing regattas do a fly start, as they call it.
Yes.
So we have this very unique thing. All of the boats have to be hand-built.
Right. And using a pry even.
Yes, using the pry, exactly. We don't have stabilizing keels and all that kind of stuff. You know, my time in Canada over the last couple of years, I've been showing people little videos of sailing and trying to explain how these boats sail.
Yes.
And all that. And so we've got a whole slew of new fans globally now that
broadening the base.
Broadening the base and,
Yes.
and hopefully attracting even international possibly sponsorship
Yes.
so that one day, what we're watching or doing here is something that's broadcast to the world, maybe on one of the global networks, right?
Yeah.
So that we could be sitting up with the big boys in ESPN and the rest of them and watching sailing. So it's something that's way out there, but that's, I think, we're trending in the right direction is what I want to say.
Oh, definitely.
In that regard. And so, yes, it is now the national sport of the Bahamas. How we got here and why it took us so long, I think, is now behind us. Let's grab it and just take it forward. Absolutely.
What I like about this sport, you could be 16 and dominated.
Yes.
And it could be 80
Yes.
like effort camp them and still
Yes,
dominated.
still
It's no other
yeah.
sport where you can
Yeah.
where you can
There
see, where you can
is parity.
See, yeah.
Yes.
There's parity.
And you were talking about to bring you back to your conversation where you thought about you was 22 and you couldn't be on the boat with the 17 year old and all.
Thank you.
That don't even make a value here in sailing because some of the young boys beat the big boys and the old men beat the young
But
boys.
you saw Joss just now. Joss
Yeah,
handled
one of the
everybody.
youngest. Yes.
Everybody. And that's the advantage that we have, and we have to build on that. We have to promote that type of a thing because the fact that there's a level of camaraderie as well. The older persons are teaching younger persons how to win and how to lose, how to interact, how to be positive, how to influence your peers and the environment. And that's why we have to do everything that we can to continually build this, continually move it in the direction we want it to go.
Totally agree with that. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I believe I'm not getting any cues from our producers yet, but if we can get a cue, I guess we can determine whether... All right, and so...
Yeah, we're going to take a break. Thanks for watching that first race, which was quite exciting. And I know coming up next will be the C class, which will be even more exciting. That's when the big boys get on. So for now, we're going to...
Call it a day.
Yes.
Be right back.
From sinking last year to rising to the top this year, congratulations to Bok Cho, the 2024 Best of the Best champ.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Who this fella is, man?
Boy, I don't even think this boat registered.
My Lord.
Bingston. Bingston.
Ernestine?
Bingston. Bingston, you daydreaming again?
Guess who I just been best of the best?
In what?
In this same boat, Buckto. I gotta go back to Madrid because I just got my award and this pretty young girl is supposed to give you some champagne.
Bingston, you gotta catch yourself.
Man, Ernestine, more to where I gotta get ready for the best of the best regatta. I'm coming to the Montague Foreshores from December 5th to December 8th. The top sailors from around the man, Ernestine, you wanna see me talking?
I'm talking.
With the best delicious local dishes and live performances. And guess what? I can be there shaking a leg.
Shaking what leg?
Ernestine, her shop.
Are you ready for the holiday hustle? Every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m., tune into What's Trending to slay the deals with Shop Smart. Shop smarter, save bigger, and score the best gifts with offers you can't beat. And when you go to the store, tell them What's Trending sent you for 50% off on selected items. Don't miss out. That's every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. on What's Trending. It's time to shop and spread the holiday cheer.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Here in the Caribbean region, our climate is changing, resulting in intense heat as temperatures soar. This increase in temperature is having a significant impact on our energy sector.
With the increase in temperatures, we, of course, are expecting an increase in the use of electricity or cooling, etc. So there's an increased demand on the utility companies to, provide for that overload on their systems.
The hotter it gets, the more energy need there is for cooling among the population, but also the harder it becomes for electricity to be produced. So the efficiency of electricity production is typically also lower when it's really hot.
But there are ways we can help. Simple actions can make a big difference.
There are certain measures that we can take to make sure that we mitigate some of the possible impacts, such as using LED bulbs.
It's up to all of us to take proactive steps. Stay informed and prepared. Together, we can weather this storm. For more information and updates, follow CIMH on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Chapter 1 Bookstore at University of the Bahamas believes in the power of words. They have your next great adventure or that affordable textbook you need. You can go anywhere with a good book. To the library, to have coffee in a cafe, to the pool, to a cozy chair at home. And when you finish your book, you can browse for more good books from Chapter 1. Chapter 1 Bookstore, open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., or shop online all day, every day at chapter1books.store.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the Sunshine Room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Tune into the program, Living by Faith, with Bishop Valentino Williams of Life Changes Ministries International. Sundays at 5:30 p.m. on ZNS TV station. Prepare to be inspired, impacted, empowered, and transformed. Remember, the just shall live by faith.
This prophet here is not for sale. This prophet here come to declare what thus saith the Lord.
This is the Caribbean, a region known for its stunning beauty and vibrant culture, but also for being among the most vulnerable to the impacts of a changing climate. 2024 is predicted to be a year of climate extremes, a hyperactive Atlantic hurricane season, and early onset of an intense heat season.
When you combine humidity and heat, that is where our bodies get stressed very easily. That is not just human bodies, that is also most living beings, whether it's crops that farmers grow, livestock, whether that is the environment. Heat is becoming dangerous.
The impacts of climate change and climate variability on the Caribbean are becoming increasingly severe.
Basically, the entire Caribbean will be in its wet season until early August. And during that time, whereas in the Eastern Caribbean, you get more a progressive increase in the shower activity, in a regular year. This year it might be faster, it might be more intense, it might be more explosive showers. What we're seeing is 23 to 29 storms over the year as a whole. But for the second half of the hurricane season, it's gonna be a little bit more active than we're used to, with double the amount of storms that we usually get between September and November.
By staying up to date about climate information specific to your country, we can prepare and protect our communities, our livelihoods, and the environment.
Learn how to take small things, brothers and sisters, and manage it until your promotion. You gotta learn how to manage your struggle. You gotta learn how to manage your disappointment. You gotta learn how to manage your frustration. Are you hearing me in the Holy Ghost? You gotta learn how to contain some stuff. You gotta manage your tongue.
Watch us this and every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas. Community farming for food security. Climate programs suited for our island country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal, at the check-in counter, at security checkpoints, or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports in 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
Christmas Eve talent contest tonight. First prize, $200. What's a talent contest?
Well, it's a contest to see which animal on the farm can sing or dance or entertain the best. It's also something to drive your mother crazy. If I hear your father sing Way Down Upon the Christmas River one more time, I'm going to scream.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Is that talent, Mama?
No, dear, no.
Tune the guitar, tune the guitar. The guitar is in tune, you old heifer. It's your voice that's out of tune. Why, you?
Moo. 200 smackaroo dollars. I could bet on a lot of ponies with that kind of pie dough. I have got to win that contest. But how? I do not sing nor dance. The only talent I have is that being sneaky. Sneaky, of course. I will win the contest by exercising my best talent. I will cheat. Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you? Claudia, you're supposed to be rehearsing with me.
There's plenty of time for that. I'm running out of time for this.
How many letters are you gonna write to Santa Claus?
I'll write till my paw falls off.
You've already sent him a sackful. Besides, it's Christmas Eve. He's not even gonna get these in time.
Yes, he will. I have his fax number.
Oh, no.
I've decided not to take any chances. Repetition is the key to any successful campaign. And I'm campaigning for a lot of toys.
Claudia, you're greedy.
Stop trying to act like you're perfect, Scuttle-Matt. How many letters did you write to Santa?
I only wrote one.
One? You're doomed, Scuttle-Matt. Doomed! Santa is never going to remember one letter. He's old, you know.
Well, I only wrote one, but I went down to Henry Horse's general store and I photocopied it 20 times.
Aha! You're just as greedy as I am.
That's impossible.
I guess you're right.
Now, come on, let's rehearse.
Let me finish this last letter. One thing's for sure, Santa isn't going to forget.
Claudia Cat. Again?
That isn't the half of it.
All of them?
All of them.
Well, I wonder what she wants in this one.
Depends on what page of the Christmas catalog she's on. It's all there, page for page.
A radio-controlled car, 10 new video games, a widescreen TV to play them on, a caddy chat box doll, and a computer to make writing these lists easier.
This just came in on the fax machine. Guess who?
Claudia Cat.
Greedy, greedy, greedy. What does she think? Presents and gifts just grow on trees?
Probably. I wish I could fill every Christmas wish for her and everybody else's for that matter.
That's impossible, Santa.
I know, but wouldn't it be nice? Well, we have a few hours before we take off tonight. I'll just go through these and figure out what she wants the most.
We'd better help. If you went through all these letters yourself, why you'd take it till next Christmas?
This breaking news just in. The Rundown with Clint Watson is heading to Washington, D.C. for Inauguration Day, and you don't want to miss it. Be there as The Rundown brings you all the sights and scenes of the presidential inauguration of number 47, Donald J. Trump. Advertisers, our D.C. promotional packages are competitively priced and now available to place your business on location and in the live show. Enjoy informative stories on D.C. politics, interviews with local politicos, and extraordinary Bahamians living in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas. The Rundown will bring it live and direct just for you. Call our ZNS sales department today at 502-3800 and book your package. We're off to Washington, D.C. because soon only the sun will cover the planet better. You know the rest.
Guess who's alone in New York this Christmas?
Don't you know a kid always wins against two idiots?
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Another Christmas in the trenches.
Oh, you two look so cute. I would be a bit surprised if you don't win the contest.
I hate this mask. I can't breathe. Oh, stop complaining, Claudia. Well, it's hot.
Yeah, but it'll be worth it if we win that prize money.
When I finish here, you two can stand by the door. It's cooler there.
Goodness, this talent show seems to have had its share of misfortune. So far, something bizarre has happened to almost every act. How on earth did a banana peel ever get on the stage?
Excuse me.
And now for our next act, presenting the syncopated sheep.
Way down upon the Christmas River, not so far away. That's where the Christmas gifts are delivered, down where the reindeer play.
And now I simply loosen this board and then put this up here. And when the sheep dance is over... Oh, O'Toole, you are so smart. No one is going to finish but you, so you will have to win.
Hey, Santa, I hate to tell you this, but you just skipped over that farm down there.
I didn't skip it, Okie. Look closely. That place is lit up like a Christmas tree. Everyone's still awake down there. We'll stop on our way back. Well, what seems to be the trouble?
Nothing.
I can tell when something's bothering one of my elves. Okie, why didn't you take care of that before we left?
I didn't have to then.
Very well, then. We'll make a quick stop.
Santa Claus knows if you're good and also if you're bad. So be upon your best behavior so you don't make him mad.
All right, Okie, hurry along. Yes, Dokie? You too? Hurry along and don't let anyone see you.
Oh, dear. Next on our program is Miss Posy Honk with a dramatic recital.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Claudia, Miss Posy said we could stand by the door.
Well, we are by the door.
She meant on the inside by the door.
I know what she meant, and I also know what she said.
Come on, we have to go back inside.
Not yet. It's too hot in there.
And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap.
I almost hate to do this to Posy Honk, but I don't hate it enough to stop me.
To see what was the matter? My words! My words!
Well, that takes care of Posy Honk. Bonita Bunny is up next, and her booby trap is already set. Sometimes my own brilliance bedazzles me.
What's going on in there?
Looks like a show. Let's check it out.
No, wait. This is Christmas Eve. We've got a lot of work to... Santa isn't gonna like this.
What's keeping those two rascals? There they are.
And stop doing that.
Stop doing what?
Stop clawing at your mask.
I can't help it. I'm claustrophobic.
Well, you're gonna be black-eye-phobic if you don't...
Let's go, you two.
We have the clumsiest group of animals on this farm I have ever seen.
With a little help from me, that is.
I have just received word backstage that due to an untimely earache, Bonita Bunny cannot be with us tonight. So, moving right along, next up will be jokes and laughs with O'Toole the Mule.
Me? Now? Oh, no! Bonita Bunny just has to go on next.
Must you make such an obnoxious entrance?
Oh, shush, you old pork rind. I tell you, I do not want to go on next.
Too bad, you're already on.
Walk softly, you big thing. Do not jar the stage.
Oh, my goodness. I thought you children were my elves.
Oh, wow, I can't believe it.
We're riding in Santa's sleigh.
We're a zillion feet off the ground. I must be dreaming.
I'll hit you.
You will not.
I'm so sorry about this.
This is too cool. The real Santa Claus.
Santa, my name is Claudia. Did you get my letters?
Yes, child, I'm sure I did. I'll just turn this sleigh around and have you both back home in a jiff. Claudia? Claudia Cat? Of course, I almost didn't recognize you.
Oh, please, Santa. We don't want to go back already.
No, this is fun.
Just think how worried your families must be.
Oh, they won't be worried. They're watching the talent show. They'll never miss us.
Talent show?
Yeah, we were going to sing a song about you, jolly old St. Nicholas, and win $200. But gosh, this is a lot more fun.
$200? My word, that's a lot of money. What would you do with all of it?
Well, buy more toys, of course. But only after Christmas. We need to see what we're getting from you first. No sense in duplicating efforts.
I see.
Yeah, and also since $200 is a lot of money, we wouldn't want to just blow it. We would want to make sure to buy only quality toys.
Quality toys?
Yeah, toys that will last until your next birthday. Because everyone knows you get more toys then.
Sounds like you both put a lot of thought into this.
We really have, Santa.
You know, buying more toys does sound like a lot of fun, but I can think of something even more fun.
What?
On the way back home, how would you two like to make a stop with me and see what it's like to deliver presents?
Are you kidding? Would we?
Oh, wow! This'll be great!
Wonderful. Away, Dasher! Away, Donner! On, Prancer! On, oh! The rest of you, you know who you are. I'm in a hurry.
Are you ready for the holiday hustle? Every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m., tune into What's Trending to slay the deals with Shop Smart. Shop smarter, save bigger, and score the best gifts with offers you can't beat. And when you go to the store, tell them What's Trending sent you for 50% off on selected items. Don't miss out. That's every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. on What's Trending. It's time to shop and spread the holiday cheer.
Making so much noise. You might jar something loose. I mean, like a lung or something. Here's one. Why did the chicken cross the road?
To show the possum it could be done.
Why? You stole my punchline. Off! Off the stage! Get him off the stage! You cannot talk to me that way. I am a super brain. I can tell jokes better than...
Now that's funny.
Is anyone going to finish their act? Scuttle, Mutt, and Claudia are next. Where are they? I don't know. Well, find them for mercy's sakes. Oh, this is a disaster.
This show's in trouble. So are we if we don't get back to the sleigh. Oh, wait a minute. I want to see what happens next.
Let's go, you two. You're on. Dears, you remember jolly old St. Nicholas?
Jolly old St. Nicholas isn't going to be so jolly when he gets his hands on us.
Sing! Sing!
That was fun!
Shh! You'll wake him up!
This place is kind of junky.
Claudia!
Well, it is.
Well, you don't have to say it. Now, shh! What can we do, Santa?
Well, you and Claudia can hand me the presents and I'll place them under the tree.
Ooh, this is pretty. What's inside this one, Santa?
Claudia, I don't think you're supposed to ask.
Oh, that's all right. This trip makes you two honorary elves.
Wow.
It's roller skates, isn't it, Santa?
No, it's a pair of shoes for Sam, the little boy who lives here.
Ow! I bet this is a big doll for the little girl who lives here.
No, that's a new winter coat.
Oh.
A game.
A box of school supplies.
School supplies? Shoes?
Aren't there any fun things for them?
Yeah, where's the toys?
Well, as much as I wish I could, I can't always fill every Christmas wish. This family has important needs. Needs that are more important than their wants. Maybe I can help out with more fun things next time.
Gosh.
That's why every year I depend so much on others to help me spread Christmas cheer. You know, through the kindness of their own hearts. Goodness, we've got to get a move on. We have to get you two home and find my elves.
Jolly old St. Nicholas, lend your ear this way, Don't you tell a single soul, what I'm going to say. Hoo-doo-doo-doo, Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you merry men in the red suit, whisper what you'll bring. Confidentially tell me if you can. Johnny wants a pair of skates.
Susie wants a sled.
Nellie wants a picture book.
Yellow, blue, and red.
Now I think I'll leave to you just what to give the rest. Choose for me, dear Santa Claus, what you think is best.
I can't believe it! Scuttle and Claudia are really good!
Claudia's father and I are so proud.
I guess they took me at my word when I said practice makes perfect.
A Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you merry man in the red suit, whisper what you'll bring. Confidentially tell me, Jolly St. Nicholas, tell me. I'm in a pickle unless you tell me. Tell me if you can.
Hi, guys.
Have a nice trip.
Scuttle, Claudia, why did you run off the stage? Get back out there. You won.
We did?
Here are our two winners, Claudia Cat and Scuttle Mutt. Tell me, you two, what are you going to do with all this money?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
We're gonna spend it, and we have to do it right now. Come on, we have to get to the store before it closes.
Children, come back here.
Claudia, where are you going? We're gonna spread Christmas cheer. Wanna make $10, bucko?
$10? What's the gig?
I wish we could put all these fun presents under their Christmas tree.
I just wish we could see their faces when they open them up.
Yeah. Hey, where's the note?
Right there. Merry Christmas from Santa's honorary elves.
Oh, now that's what Christmas is all about.
Thanks for driving us to the Midnight Madness sale, O'Toole. Do not mention it, Canine Poochie. Just do not forget to pay me. Oh, I'm sorry, O'Toole. Here you go. The last $10 bill of the best money spent in a long time.
Yeah, it's funny, but I feel real good inside.
Well, they say sometimes it's better to give than to receive.
Yes, and sometimes they are wrong.
But most of the time, they're right. O'Toole wants the family to have this money as well.
What? Thanks, O'Toole. Hey, Goose, what gives?
You do. Look, O'Toole, I know it was you behind all those mishaps at the contest tonight. Shame on you. $10 shall be my hush money.
Rance, how did you find out it was me?
I didn't find out. You just now told me.
What? Oh!
There's no hope for you, O'Toole.
You tricked me. I am impressed.
I should be very angry with you, but, well, everything has just turned out so nicely. Merry Christmas, O'Toole.
Merry Christmas, Miss Posey. And I promise never to cheat.
We wouldn't want to add lion to your list of indiscretions.
You know, I think this is going to be the best Christmas ever.
Me too!
I'm so very proud of you children. Where did you come up with such a wonderful notion anyway?
From Santa!
Santa? Oh, you too.
Jolly old St. Nicholas, lend your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now, you dear old man, whisper what you bring to me. Tell me if you
Bishop Thompson and all them. We've been to 25 years he was leadership.
Yes.
Bishop Thompson trained under Bishop Moss.
Oh, my.
Okay?
Yes.
Bishop Thompson was Bishop Moss, VLD, Victory Leaders Band, Young Leader, you know, like I have chairman of the Young Liberals.
Yes.
He was Bishop Moss, Young Liberals leader.
Bishop Bryce Thompson.
Bryce Thompson, a wonderful man, a great man in the country.
Yes.
But let us say, his greatness is because of his mentorship, standards, principles.
And Bishop Benby, the mentorship continues today in the
Right today. His son now is there, Woodley Thompson, and he's going to be great in his own way. He has some great ideas. Let the nation know he's preparing now to change the face of international Christian sports in the nation.
What?
He's setting up a city, an inspirational city in Marshall Road. That is what his vision is as he comes to office from September of last year. So remember, Bishop Moss did what he did, and build more churches and everybody, and change the face of the nation, change more people. Miles Monroe.
Yes.
Came to our church regularly.
Wow.
Singing with his group.
Yes.
Gibson was the leader.
That's right. Yes.
The Visionaires. People don't know.
No.
Lincoln Bain was in there singing bass.
Yes.
People know. I know the people of the nation.
My God, we gotta go to a break. We gotta go to a break, but we'll be right back after these messages on immediate response. Don't touch your dial. We're coming right back.
Whatever should be expected of an insurance company is exactly what you'll find at Harvest Insurance Brokers. And right now is a great time to sign up for automobile, home, group, or life insurance policies. But at this moment, what's really amazing is their newly introduced National Workers Healthcare Insurance Plan, which is a strong and concise medical package designed for retirees or those entering retirement, starting from as low as $275 per month. Harvest Insurance Brokers, located Dowsville and Armstrong Street. Dial 326-808445.
Looking for that hard-to-find windshield for your Japanese car? Well, look no further. Island Windshield stocks the largest selection of windshields for Japanese and American cars. They offer professional installation and auto tinting. Family Island orders are welcome. They deliver to the mailboat, too. Island Windshield has a large selection of Honda parts for all makes and models. Credit card orders are welcome. Island Windshield, now serving you in 2 convenient locations. Wolf Road opposite AID, call 394-8018. And Carmichael Road, just west of the Southwest Plaza, call 341-4120. Island Windshield.
The Under-15 Caribbean Baseball Cup will take place from December 4th to 9th at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. See teams from Cuba, the Dominican Republic, the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and the Bahamas compete at the highest level to win this prestigious cup. The Under-15 Caribbean Cup, a great event for the entire family. December 4th to the 9th at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. Get your tickets today.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Coming up this week on The Youth Perspective.
For us, I think in our country generally, we think it's just about reading and writing, but we don't, as a country, in my opinion, understand the intricacies behind what literacy does. It's critical thinking. It's when someone comes on and say, for example, someone's eating cats and dogs. Can you decipher if that's a fact or opinion? It has a lot of critical thinking behind it, and there are skills and strategies that go into making someone literate. And so that's what our association is about. It's about empowering teachers. And a lot of times teachers, we don't get to cover everything in college. And so our Literacy Association will train the trainer.
The Youth Perspective, where we shine the light on the youth of our nation. You don't want to miss this episode each Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on 1540 a.m. Power 104.5 FM, the national voice of the Bahamas.
It's almost time for Junkanoo. Don't get left out of the best Junkanoo broadcast. Get your ZNS Junkanoo advertising package today. Call the ZNS sales office at 502-3800.
Whatever should be expected of an insurance company is exactly what you'll find at Harvest Insurance Brokers. And right now is a great time to sign up for automobile, home, group, or life insurance policies. But at this moment, what's really amazing is their newly introduced National Workers Healthcare Insurance Plan, which is a strong and concise medical package designed for retirees or those entering retirement, starting from as low as $275 per month. Harvest Insurance Brokers, located Dowsville and Armstrong Street. Dial 326-808445.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The views expressed on this show, interview, or program are not necessarily the views expressed by the ZNS Radio Network and, by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to Immediate Response. Of course, my guest is Dr. Glenn Benaby from the Church of God of Prophecy.
Yes.
He was a former head boy at the government high school, class of 1970. And we're discussing the legacy of Bishop Alvin S. Morse. I just got a text here just now I need to read, and then we'll come right back to you, Bishop. It says, good morning, Spence. This man speaking the truth. Prophecy Church has every area of this country covered on excellent jobs. Bishop Morse was my uncle. He was like a bind to the people. Eleanor Thompson Williams in Freeport, your cousin.
There you go.
Yeah, Bishop John's sister.
Oh, yes.
John W. Ferguson's sister, my good brother. So let's continue on, sir. You were
Bishop John, Assistant Commissioner of Police. He had another Bishop Morse product.
Right. So let's continue on.
What I was about to say, and I mentioned it during the break, a country, a nation is established as a city by its community coming together. And that happened for us here in the Bahamas when the Anglican Diocese, the Anglican Church, was established at Christ Church Cathedral.
Yes.
And Christ Cathedral is the state church.
Right.
Official church, state church. And I am telling you this morning, right here where we are, that Prophecy Over the Hill was the state church of the people. And I'll show you what I mean by that when I say that. In 1952, they dedicated a clock in Prophecy Church.
Wow.
The clock weighed more than 600 pounds. And in order to get the clock 75 feet up in the air from East Street, they had to develop a special pulley mechanism. We had no lift then and all these high-rise.
So they were engineers in the Church of God of Prophecy.
From day one.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A pulley system.
We had a pulley system to get the clock from the ground to the steeple clock on top of the church. It's still there now. It's not ringing. It's not working.
Yes.
But it rang on every hour in the East Street community. So every hour you would hear the bell ring throughout the community, bringing the community together as a people. And that was very true, and that was established. You know, I told you earlier the relationship between the father of the nation, Prime Minister Pillin, and Bishop.
Yeah, they grew up on East Street together.
They grew up on East Street together, and he attended his church as a follower. Every convention he was there. Wow. I know.
Yes.
Not in the 1940s, but I came there. I came in the 50s, and so I know of this. He and Bishop Morse and Prime Minister Pindling went to barber together. They had the same barber. I went to the barber too.
You went to the same barber?
Yeah, the barber was Bishop Nathaniel Benaby.
Oh, yes.
Right on East Street.
Yes.
And he was the chaplain of the House of Assembly.
Oh, my, wow.
Okay. And that relationship was ongoing. Much of the relationship people don't see. It was behind the scenes.
Yes.
But Prime Minister Pindling and Bishop Morse and Clement Maynard, Honorable Clement Maynard, had a relationship of a kind that cannot easily be described. Yes.
So Bishop Benaby, Glenn Benaby, So Lyndon always had a connection to the church.
All the time.
Yeah,
but
he was guided.
He was guided by that.
Yes.
In all these speeches and his religious statement of Moses and all that,
right.
He had roots in the church. That's where it came from.
Yeah, somebody just sent another note saying, thanks for bringing him on. This is good history.
Yeah, and...
good history, John.
Okay.
I call you John. Glenn, Rick Sprinter from the Government Heights.
Yes, but when that state of the nation recognition of the church occurred at the death of Prime Minister Pinling in 2000.
Right.
Because Prime Minister Pinling recommended the Lady Pinling that he will be buried in no other church other than Prophecy.
I remember that.
Nobody thought of that as something. He said, bury him in Prophecy with his people. He was a Seventh-day Adventist at one point, and he attended most of the time at the Anglican Church. Let me say to you, I have the greatest respect for the Anglican Church.
Yes, sir.
And for the Catholic Church. I know them all. I know all the leaders, and I love them all. I am just giving you history as it happened.
Yes.
I am not giving it you in any biased form. And Lady Pinling had to say to the cabinet of this country, Prime Minister Pinling will be buried in his street. And that is the first that I know of. Official state funeral outside of Christ Gate Cathedral.
Wow.
Now we have we have many since.
Yes.
But that's the first
one. Yes.
And the first important point to note that the first prayer for the nation in 1973 at Clifford Park was performed by Bishop Alvin S. Moss.
Wow.
The first prayer.
Yes.
All the Christian Council and all that, all of importance, but we have to appreciate the first prayer that occurred for the nation. We don't know what our history is.
No. So
we disrespect people.
With the time we have left, and I have to bring you back for a full show.
Oh, yes.
With the time we have left, who are some of his children?
His children, he had three children, actually had four.
Okay.
The first one died shortly after childbirth.
Okay.
But his oldest child was my mother, who's Dorinda Beneby.
Oh!
Okay. She was an evangelist, and she ran the church school.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And people don't understand that he had school. Okay. He had special religious training in BTI, Bible Training Institute, where the people who were to be ministers were trained locally at that time, with foreign ministers coming in to give sessions.
Man, he covered every area.
One of the leading contractors in this country, he built many of the houses. He built the most churches.
Wow!
Was his son Jack C. Moss, who built all of these churches we have here, all across the country, and he was known because of his integrity. You could go to him and give him your money and say, I want my home built, and you don't have to worry about it. He'd give you the home.
Someone texted now, I need to read that. My good friend Cleomi Woods is texting, and she said, Dr. Beneby, it's correct about Kelly's Lumberyard giving the common man mortgages with less red tape than commercial banks.
Yes.
I am a recipient of one. I was recommended by a member of the Church of God. Bishop Beneby was a great nation builder. Thank you, Cleomi, my good friend Cleomi Woods. Wow.
Yeah, let me tell you.
I got to bring you back.
His youngest daughter was Roberta Moss Hebben, who was his correspondent secretary.
Okay.
She worked with him up until 1974. After that, she worked with Clement Maynard and Life at Key.
Oh, my God.
Okay, she was one of the leading real estate in the early days of modern real estate in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Okay.
And I can see why, eh?
All right.
Makes sense.
And so these are some of the things about Bishop Moss that make him different and legendary. See, legendary mean appreciation and gratitude. And when we don't appreciate and give gratitude to our legends, we fail as a nation. And when we don't look
be nice to know what the course is, a couple laps around, and I'm wondering if they're going to use the gate with the C-Class like they did in the E or not.
All right, and so if you want to explain, Captain Plug, just a little bit about the gate. It's something new that's just been added in the last couple of regattas. For those who may not be familiar, explain to us exactly what is the gate.
Okay, so when the boats start, they're going to go upwind, they'll beat upwind to the windward marker, maybe do a reach mark, and then when they coming down to the downwind marker, this gate allows you to turn in either direction, either right or left, whereas without the gate, you have only one option to turn. So by having the gate there, it gives you the option, instead of just playing follow the leader and going behind the boats that you may be in front of you, you can go over on the other side, maybe catch a wind shift over there and improve your position. So having the gate in our program is very exciting to me as a sailor.
Right. I was going to ask your opinion on that, whether you thought it was a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, I think your answer says it all on that.
Definitely, it's a good thing.
Yep.
Looking at the conditions, favorable for which type of boat, which type of skippers this morning?
Anybody, whoever's got the big sail on today, you got to have a big sail. You need your crew to be in sync when you tack, because you can lose a lot of speed tacking around the mark and stuff like that if the crew's not in sync. So yeah, big sail day, good weight placement, good trim on the sail, and those will be the boats that will be up front. Also, you know, the start, man, is so critical.
Yeah.
You got to get we start with the sails down at anchor, which is different from how they do it internationally, where you have a flying start. But I like the way we do our starts. And you want to make sure your anchor's hooked in good. You got out a certain amount of rope so you can get a good pull and hopefully get out into the clean air and get going.
All right, as we indicated earlier, we have something new this year. They're going to have trackers on the boats, and so we'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it at home, watching on screen. From time to time, they're going to switch to the graphics, and you'll see the boats that are being tracked. And just so that we can get some advance notice, the boats that will be tracked in this C-Class: Sassy Sue, Bull Reg, Xena, Witty K, Slaughter, It Ain't Right, Shroud, Confusion, Sacrifice, Patent Pride, H2O, Catch the Cat.
I think that's a pretty good selection of boats there. Absolutely, they should be up there in the top 10, top 12.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, there you go. So we're gonna see Cap with our own eyes and be able to determine exactly what we get a lot of trash talking on in these chats about who's sailing faster and whether I'm going 12 knots, 15 knots, 8 knots, whatever. I believe we're all going to find out for real that most of these boats track almost at the same identical speed.
They're very closely matched. I mean, it's intended to be class racing where the rigs are pretty equal. Sail selection can often be a determining factor, but yeah, these trackers, man, I looking forward to seeing that on the graphics and everything.
Yep.
Make it easier for us to identify, the boats when they're out there away from the shore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is another very positive step forward to have that technology.
Right, absolutely. All right, so you got to give kudos to the movie group for incorporating this into their production. Every year they've actually, gone up a notch and delivering sailing, and this again, I think fish will be one of the things that continues to add and attract first-timers to the sport, right? People who are now able to understand, because you're able to see it on screen, you're able to follow it. Because I can tell you, for me, prior to me, as you recommended to Ms. Taylor from Paradise Games, getting on a boat and seeing sailing up close, watching sailing from the shore, I was completely lost. And it was the most boring thing ever to stand on Montague foreshore and see these white sails are there. And I'm listening to these guys talking about, oh, he cut this one, oh, that one get tacked out. And don't have a clue what the heck it is that they're talking about, and what is a tack and what is a cut, and what's the difference, and why you're cutting and why you're tacking. And so to be able to see it up close, I think is, this is the next best thing to Cap getting on a boat and seeing it for yourself.
I couldn't agree with you more. Having those big screens down there for the fans out here is a good thing to have. Yeah, so I'm excited about it, and can't wait for the race to get started.
Before the race gets started, I'm going to put you on warning. You're next to the cannon, and when that goes off, be prepared.
I heard the start for the E-Class. I was way down there by the sailing club.
And I'm right here. I have him in my vision, making sure when I see when he lights the cannon so I don't get shocked as last time. But all the boys, they are out there on the water. The sails are down, and they are waiting to start the C-Class. Following this will be the B-Class, and then we have the A-Class. So full day of sailing on day number 1 of the best still to go. So like the tourists are doing. They're coming down here, enjoying their lunch break and tour and watching some of the sailing. You can do the same.
Yep, I'm getting a little note that two boats, Fugitive and Raging Bull, not in this race, and so we won't be counting them in the numbers.
So will they be competing in the Regatta anymore? Because not getting these points today is very crucial. If you don't get your points today,
they're not here at all.
Okay.
Right. So so we're down to 34 then from the 36. Okay. And it may even be even less. We'll wait to see. But unofficially, the 36 that we call were registered to compete and begin. All right, so I believe we're just awaiting, it looks like maybe two boats to get to the line before this race gets underway. Captain Plug, one of the things that's been an issue for a lot of these regattas is starting on time, getting these races started on time.
That's what I'm talking. If you want to put it on the ESPN and those, you have to be disciplined on time.
Right, and I'll say right now we're about 20 minutes from the promised start. Not too bad. No. 20 minutes, not too bad, but still, we're late. But, this is much better than going an hour late, which
it is.
Happens too often, I believe.
Timely, timely would be a good thing. There's a couple of ways we could tighten up on that as an industry, if you will, the sloop sailing thing. And it's a work in progress, we just got to keep, again, that'd be part of the business plan so that all the clubs would understand that, look, I know you got to go ashore and get something to eat, but the race is starting at this time, and if you're not there, the race starts without you. And
absolutely.
You don't want to exclude anybody, but, it's definitely something we could tighten up on.
But Dwight and Captain Plug, the issue is this. I'm sailing on a B class, C class, and then I have to go get ready for the B class. Then I have to go get ready for the A class. I got to rig the boat. So that takes time. It's not enough sailors for each class.
Well, I believe we can argue that.
That's a valid point.
There's some validity to that, but we also need to, I believe, begin to understand that if we are going to have 3 or 4 classes sailing, then maybe I cannot sail on all races. I have to maybe skip a class.
Yeah.
So pick your 2,
Sure.
So that you're not, the whole entire fleet isn't penalized because there's one guy who is a very popular guy and he wants to sail on 4 classes, but it's not fair to the rest of the fleet.
No, it isn't. So it's a bit of a balancing act, trying to split your time up, trying to get things ready, got to get some sleep.
Have a setup crew, right? So,
that would be nice.
So you have a setup crew who's getting the boat ready, which may be not the same fellas who sail it, or have enough crew members that you can split them between your boats.
Yeah. Things like that are definitely options. It just sometimes getting an early start, which may not be the easiest thing because you're tired from the day before. But hey, if you come to sail, not play, then you got to make the commitment and do it.
Yeah. So some things to talk about, but again, if we are going to look to try to promote this sport outside of the Bahamas, these are some of the things that will definitely have to be tightened up and, have discipline brought to it. I believe, gentlemen, that we have most of the boats, if not all of the boats now on the line. We're still not getting the type of shots to be able to tell you who's in the number 1 position right now as opposed to the number 30, whatever.
Well, that's one of the things with the C class as opposed to the B and the A. It's first come, first served on the starting line. You pick your own position, whereas in the A and the B class, we pull numbers out of the hat so you know what your starting position is. So being timely to the start line for the C class and the E class can be advantageous because you can get the favorable spot.
Yeah.
So right now out there, the crews are checking to make sure they got all their ropes in the right place and the sail's not going to get snagged when the gun goes off and they start pulling up that mainsail.
Right.
Nerves are up for some people. Some people just relaxed and laughing and carrying on.
Yep.
There are the sloops out there. And it could be draining too, right? At this time because the sun is coming up. It is starting to beat. The sun heat is starting to beat on you and you still have a whole 2 laps to go, pulling and talking and then tomorrow races.
We had
I always wonder how sailors do it.
It's a tough job, you know. I mean, if you want to call it a job, but yeah, the exposure to the sun. I mean, just yesterday when we were launching the boats down at Potter's Key, a couple of the crew last night was saying, you know, they had some sunburn. So yeah, it's another big thing is dehydration. You got to drink water, more so in the summertime. I think sometimes some of the crew, not necessarily ours, but you have a little bit too many beers the night before and you jump on the boat, you know, oh man, you got to drink water and Gatorade and stuff like that. Dehydration is a serious thing.
So for those watching us throughout the Bahamas and over the world, please bear with us. We have nothing to do with this. There's still some boats getting to the starting line. We heard about two that is not here that we had named, getting that they are not here. And as soon as this race starts, not to be short of excitement, so.
No, sir. From the first gun, it'll be very exciting.
Yeah, I see. It looks like there's even another two boats that haven't even left their overnight spot yet, and whether the committee is going to be waiting for them or not remains to be seen.
I think Chester said they give you a 15-minute grace period, 15, 20 minutes.
I believe we passed that grace period already.
I would say so. I know the fellows that are already anchored up are just itching to hear the gun get going.
Yeah, and you know, it's again, I mean, we talk about this all the time, and just, you know, time, being on time, you know, it's not fair to a guy who gets there on time and then he has to sit there for 50 minutes.
It's not unfair at all.
For, you know, the guys who just don't think that time is important. And we're gonna, I believe, have to get to the point where a couple of guys are gonna have to get left behind for us to start to take it more seriously, as much as it may hurt.
That's what it's gonna take.
Is this a manipulation game what Higgins was talking about, trying to get to the line first to play mind games?
Well, or get there late, right? And that's also mind games, because you make a guy wait and they fidget in, they get, you know, probably a little bit too much relaxed because they've been there too long. You know, some of these guys take a cooler or two on these boats too, you know, so a lot could happen in half an hour if you're sitting there doing nothing else other than putting down a couple of cold ones.
Well, mind games is just part of the program, if you will, you know. I mean, this is a competition, so you want to use any advantage that you can come up with to beat the competition, you know, without being unfair or anything like that. So I guess the smack talking is a big part of the mind games, if you let it get to you.
All right, so as you can see on your screens now, a shot of some of the fleet, and this is from one of our camera angles here at Montague. I can see straight ahead, Bull Ridge, yellow writing on the side. I believe Buzzy is sailing Bull Ridge. I'll have to check our sheets to determine who's where. And I'll see if I can quickly run down. Ashley B is going to be, well, I need to be careful because I think what I have is not the skippers but the owners. And the owners is not necessarily the skippers.
No, not
Although
really.
I'm not sure that what I have is the skippers or the owners. It says owners, but I'm looking at some of the names and certainly, yeah, okay. Yeah, these are, because I know Sandy is not sailing, but she's the owner of
Sweet Island Gal, yeah, 57.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna call the names that I have because that'd be probably not accurate with all of them. But there are some names that we know for sure sailing. Stephen Knowles, who's well known, sailing Sassy Sue. His brother David Knowles, sailing Xena. Cap, I'm not sure who's sailing It Ain't Right.
Oh, Jeff Gale.
So Jeff is sailing.
Yep.
It Ain't Right, and we always want to contend in these regattas.
Okay, now we see the committee boats.
Yep. Kuchis is now sailing Willie K. Just need to plug a couple of fans out here out of Exuma. Rollville Exuma, Tony Montana, the #1 sailing fan in all the Bahamas.
Miss Roy's from up there, eh?
Miss Roy out of Exuma, being sailed by Perotti, young Perotti.
Oh, yes.
Was now on the tiller.
Yep.
Did extremely well at the Rollville Regatta.
He did.
Just the other day, I think they came in 3rd overall, I believe. And
I think you're correct, right? Yep.
Yep. Cap, your boat out of Abaco, came into Rollville for the first time. Very happy to have you there.
Thanks for inviting us.
I can tell you, during the ocean race, and I believe you ended up 3rd in the ocean race.
Yes.
After, not a very good start, but made up some ground. Obviously, that ocean race is long enough where, a lot can happen.
It was a very challenging race from what the guys told me, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But they ended up taking the overall prize there and, garnered so much attention that we've already gotten requests from both Biddy K and Sassy Sue that they will be in Rollville next year to challenge It Ain't Right.
All right.
For that crown.
We look forward to that.
Oh, we're very excited to now be attracting the top dogs in C-class sailing.
Yeah, no, it was a great regatta, man. I enjoyed it thoroughly. A little different vibe from the bigger ones, in Georgetown and Long Island, but it was all good, most enjoyable. Great regatta site.
Yeah. Yeah, we have definitely seen Rollville grow by leaps and bounds with the amount of people who now come to Rollville. It's a calendar event now, we believe. We attract probably almost the same amount of numbers fan-wise who come to the National Family Island Regatta. Unfortunately, we can't sail any of the biggest groups just because the harbor doesn't allow for the deeper boats to sail. But I think it's a handful already with just the C-class sailing in any event, and then we have the E-class sailing too. So tremendous growth over the years with the participation, the amount of boats that are coming in, and the requests to sail. So next year we hope to have probably it'll be the most competitive C-class outside of the 2 major regattas, Georgetown and the Best of the Best, we believe.
Yeah, this will be great.
Yeah.
And as I recall, the races were timely.
Yeah. We try to be on time, and we have to in Rollville just because a lot of the sailing depends on the tide.
Yep.
Right. So if you miss your tide times, then you will definitely not have that race.
We are still here waiting for the C-class sloops to hoist those sails for their first race. The E-class already completed. Following this will be the B and the A. We're still trying to figure out what's the holdup. And looking at time, it's been about 30 minutes from the scheduled start. The boats are out there. We saw the committee boat a few minutes ago riding around.
They would have hopefully been going back and forth up and down the line, giving out the course to all the skippers there. They'll usually repeat it a couple times to make sure there's no misunderstandings about which way you go and whether it's port or starboard rounding the marker.
See them there again. But it's a large fleet, so they have to really get to everybody. And I was just, while you two were speaking, I remember the first Best of the Best regatta, where you had to compete in so many regattas throughout the year to get here. That has changed now.
Yeah. So when the Best of the Best first started, the format for sailing in the Best of the Best was that the regattas throughout the year were the qualifier, right? And the system probably was a bit flawed because I think initially it was you had to win a regatta in order to qualify for the Best of the Best.
I think so.
Well, the problem is that not all of the boats compete in all of the regattas. And then you had, back then, Biddy K, for example, whichever regatta she went to, she won, right?
Pretty much.
So you were, your ability to qualify diminished with any regatta that Biddy K showed up to. And so, again, it was a kind of feeling out process to figure it out. You could have still used the regattas, I believe, as qualifying by using points, right? So it wasn't just who won, but you garnered points throughout the year and then made it to the best of the best. That I think can still work to a certain extent, but also this format, I believe, Cap, also isn't so bad because technically it's still the same. You qualify in the first 3 days.
Correct, and then you have the top boats do a one-race shootout on Sunday.
Right.
Another thing with the, I think 2016 was the first year, Lonesome Dove we didn't qualify, so we didn't sail in it. And there were some people, some of the back markers that said, hey, I go to lots of regattas. No, I don't place, but, I'm in the fleet. I add another number to the fleet and everything. So why can't I participate in the best of the best?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of give and take there. And so now it's, hey, if you got a boat, bring it. And,
Yep.
yeah, if you're good enough, you'll be in the final on Sunday.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I believe I see a little bit of movement. That's a pretty good shot there. You have Catch the Cat.
Sacrifice, number 1.
Yep, Xena.
Xena, 90.
To the left of her, I believe, is one of the boats out of Black Point.
There's Uncle Johnny.
Yep, Pot and Pride there.
She's one of the top boats.
Yep.
Everybody looks ready. Know what the holdup is.
I see one of the committee boats into shore here.
When you see the crew stand up and hold the anchor rope, then you know we're going to be pretty close.
Yeah. Trying to see if there are any boats that are still not yet on the line. I believe I see one boat getting some assistance from one of the committee boats just here in the center.
Just doing a rough count. I got about 30 boats.
Yeah, I believe we should be. Well, we still have one here close to shore. Not sure what's going on there. And whether they're going to make it. There's another one kind of in the center of the harbor. Whether they're going to make it. There's the next one now just being towed out to the line. Looks like one of the boats out of Baratari. Whether they're going to make it. So maybe the committee's decided to wait for everybody today for this first race. I don't understand why you have some boats that are just now being towed into the harbor.
Yeah.
Not let alone
we saw a silent partner towed here during long time. Some of the boats were here. They're ready. And we got to keep in mind that sun goes down pretty early.
5:15.
Yep.
And we still have 2 more races to go.
So I'm looking out here at the start line. Looks to me like there's a lot of boats over to the right side there. That must be the favorable
side.
Favorable side there. They're kind of spread out over here on the left. The wind looks pretty steady. Doesn't look too puffy or shifty.
And Cap, I'm just getting some information out of Exuma. Sergeant McKenzie is letting you know that he's pulling for
All right.
72.
I saw a message again yesterday. Nice guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he's a 72 fan. I told him you better be careful how you say that around his kinsfolk. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of strange for me sitting here, doing this. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I've always been out on the water during these regattas. Either sailing or in a chase boat.
Yes.
When they put me off the boat because I've had 2 knee replacements. So I tell you what, I'm sitting here wringing my fingers just like I would be if I was sitting on the boat. Like, come on, let's get going.
Let's get started, yeah.
You get that little bit of adrenaline in you.
Yeah.
And
well, I believe you're gonna feel some of that same adrenaline once we get started because I'm like you. I've totally enjoyed watching it up close, being a chase boat. But my time sitting behind the camera, having this view, being able to see some things that you maybe would have missed if you were just looking at one boat. So I think you're going to get some of that same adrenaline and excitement as this broadcast hopefully gets started in the next couple of minutes.
everybody, not only us, but those on the sideline watching on the big screen here at Montague, patiently waiting. Those on TV land, patiently waiting, because this is the most hyped up class that everybody looks forward to.
It's a very exciting class. I mean, with the numbers, you know, I hate to say it, but quite often at the start, you get a couple boats tangled up because there's only so much room, and somebody has a slipped anchor. And then, you know, when you get up to the windward marker, you know, you're going to have 10 boats, maybe more, in very close. Some coming in on starboard tack, some coming in on port. We'll get into the explanation on that as we get going. But, yeah, C-Class is very exciting. We really look forward to it. We didn't get our C-Class boat until 2015. We bought it from Don Knowles over in Long Island. And we've enjoyed her very much. Very competitive class.
Yeah, and It Ain't Right has definitely proven herself to be one of the top C-Class boats and never to be discounted in any regatta that she presented. What has been your best finish here at the Best of the Best?
In 2017, we won B and C class.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've tasted that sweet taste of victory already.
Man, let me tell you, that was a good regatta. You know, to win the two classes, boy, I was really a feather in our cap.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
2017 was a good year for our team. We also won the B and the C class in Georgetown.
Yes, I remember that clearly.
So, yeah, I mean, we have a good dedicated crew, which is what it takes to you know, to be a top boat. And any of these classes here, you know, you got to stay on top of your boat maintenance.
Yep.
And having teammates that you sail with a bunch of times before is key. As I mentioned earlier, tacking and during the maneuvers, if you're out of sync, you lose 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And
which is a lot.
That could be 100 yards, depending on the wind, you know, and that's difficult to make that back up.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Good doing.
Now, we saw the shot, and now they're getting ready to go.
They're off.
Progress.
White and Captain Plug.
Take it away, gentlemen. Where they're pulling. You got Pat and Pride. Pulling. Heaving and hoving.
Yes, sir. Get that anchor up, get it stowed as quickly as possible, and then there's going to be somebody there on the halyard to pull up the mainsail.
Couple of sails going up already.
You don't want to pull your sail up too quick because it'll kill your forward momentum. It's just a timing thing. Get it up, get the boat heeled over on starboard tack, which you have to start on starboard tack, and try to get clear of all the other boats on the line. Looking pretty clean right now. Yep, looking like a pretty clean start there.
Very clean start. No tangle ups at this point. No collisions. Looks like they're all away. Maybe one or two boats, I think. No sails up as yet, so we still have maybe those late get us to the line. Haven't yet gotten sailed up, but they're off. And we're going to cap as they spread out a little bit, pick up some of those sail numbers. We can identify some of the more well-known sails. 72, It Ain't Right. 44, Willie K. Sassy Sue. I forget her sail number, but I can get it right now.
Sassy Sue, she's 10, eh?
Number 10, I believe. 45 is Bull Ridge, I believe, or 24. So we'll get the numbers and get back as they get going.
Yeah, good clean start. Already over here to the left. Yeah, we got a couple of boats that have pulled out to a bit of a lead there. Not sure how far over they're going to go before they tack.
Now, give us an idea, Cap, of where do you think how this course is laid out right now?
I'm expecting a windward leeward at most, sail up to the marker and then sail back down to the gate. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so we have some graphics coming up on screen now.
Yep.
Showing some of the speeds.
Marking system.
I see a couple of 2.5s, 2.6 was the top speed right now on the boats that are being tracked.
Their sail number? I can't see a sail number.
Look at that. Sassy Sue tracking at 2.0. Slaughter 2.4. 2.3. Pat and Pride 2.5. Rolling. Confusion 1.1, barely drifting.
Yeah, it is light air, so you're going to see slow speeds. I mean, these boats have a maximum of about 8 in the heavy air.
And there you go. Sassy Sue now starting to crank up the speed up to 2.9.
Well, if they're the lead boat there, whoever's the lead boat...
3.1. She's motoring right now.
Yeah, they're out in good
Like
clean air.
3.3.
I'm laughing because you just amazed by
I'm totally fascinated by this kind of technology.
Go back to race action.
And there you go, and there's a picture of Sassy, there's Slaughter, I think, in our view. Sassy Sue, Stephen in his trademark red cap, blue shirt, number 10.
Yep.
In front of you. And we'll pick up Jeff Gale and the black boat. It ain't right. 72 at some point. I believe that's Slaughter just sailing to the front of Sassy Sue. And not all of the boats are carrying sail numbers, so we're going to be almost in the same shoes that we were at the last race.
Makes it difficult.
Not being able to completely identify, but the good thing is we have a chase boat, which will allow us to get close up to these boats and at the bow level and get the names. And we have our first boat coming across. I'm not sure if she is in a tack position or a cut position, Cap.
Well, there's one boat that's already tacked over. She's pretty good and clear. Actually, there's two more. A lot of the boats are tacking over. But this one over here, I don't know if they got in the tide. They seem to have stalled out.
On your screen now, I believe we can tell from what we see that the boat that's going across the top, probably in first place at this point.
Yes. Yeah, they're out in the clear air. They just got to hold their line and watch for the wind shifts. And you got another half dozen boats.
Okay, so you can see the tracker down in your right-hand corner.
Not going to do much good to us right now because it's too small to see.
Yep.
Those of you watching at home may get a better perspective from that. But as soon as we can identify, I think the boat that's in the bottom lower right screen, I believe we could almost suggest that she maybe the front boat coming from the left of your screen, 777, I believe, is Catch the Cat, trying to get into your view.
We've got several of the boats that have stayed over on starboard tack. They're going to go further across before they tack over. Maybe they'll be able to draw a straight line to the windward marker by doing so. Save a tack or two, which saves time.
And so the boat that we see now at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, I believe we may possibly be able to say she's the lead boat. And I'm thinking it may be Confusion, but not 100% sure. Either Confusion or Golden Girl.
It's a light-colored hull.
Carrying that gray color on the hull.
Yeah, strange to see Confusion. I'm sorry, the yellow boats.
Golden Girl not
Golden
gray.
Girl not being yellow.
Right. The sun will really kill that view, so you're going to need to get on the backside with the drone in order to get the name. We'll never get it from that angle. All right.
Here we go with some graphics.
And there you go. Look at that speed. Slaughter, 4.1. Vinny Cave, 4.2, 4.3.
So the wind is picking up.
The sails are starting to get full. And the boat number 3 on our thing is Sassy Sue or Patent Pride. Is bumping back and forth. Can't really tell. So we'll get the graphics figured out as we go.
We got pretty much most of the fleets tacked over on the port tack now, heading up towards the windward marker.
All right, Willie K getting as high as 4.7.
Once you get going, you get clear of the start line and everything, you start to get a feel for how the boat's responding and everything. You can make adjustments, minor adjustments to the sail trim and the crew trim, just moving, 1 or 2 crew around, balance the boat out. It'll give you another, couple of tenths of a mile an hour, and it all adds up.
And I believe the boat that we were seeing out front may be Slaughter, because I think Slaughter is also.
You got one of the trackers?
And Slaughter is actually on one of the trackers. So the yellow boat up top, and she's holding a good speed, bouncing between 3.2. Willie Kay really motoring. I mean, she's in the top four high fours as she makes her way. Sassy Sue, mid 3.4. Willie Kay right now just seemingly just powering. 4.2. All right, I believe on our screen you can see the mark is circled in yellow.
Oh, yes.
And so that's the point that the boats are making away. And you can see from the graphics that Slaughter, I believe, is closest to the mark as they track.
She's going to have to tack back over, though, which will bring her into the marker on starboard tack, which is a good thing because you have the right-of-way if you're on starboard tack.
Willie Kay right there with her. As we start to mesh our sight with what we see on screen, you can have a pretty good idea of who's what. And I believe we're looking at Slaughter. She's making her way up to that first mark on our screens. And the wind's cutting down just a little bit. Looks like Sweet Island Gal in front of us trying to catch some wind. And
the sails are pretty full. You see that bagginess down there at the bottom. That helps to give you good boat speed there. You don't want it too tight.
Yes. Now here's a good view. And I believe we're looking at the lead boat right now. The rest of the fleet following. And I don't know how tight a drone view we can get. Drop down low and just to the right side of the boat, we'll be able to pick up the name. We believe it's Slaughter. And she should be making her way to the mark in short order.
So there's 2-3 boats there to the top right. And they're higher is the expression we use. They're up higher.
Mm-hmm.
So when they tack over, they'll have a shorter distance to get to the mark. Again, they'll come in on starboard tack as well, which is the favored way to do it.
And so this one turned into a nice little race.
It was worth waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. We, again, had a very clean start, which is a little bit surprising, I believe.
It's not unusual to have a few tangle-ups with the C-classes. There's just so many boats, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
All it takes is one boat to have a bad start. You had a good start. Now you're falling off to try to get the wind and get going. You get tangled up with them, and then the next boat hits you, and now that's 3 boats tangled up. It can be frustrating getting into somebody else's
way
mess, but it's just part of racing.
Yep. That's a good shot of Willie Kay going across from right to left of your screen. Down low, Cap, your boat out of Abaco, 72.
Yep, she's up there.
In the mix. And so these boats are now, I believe, all sailing now to that windward mark.
They're on the starboard tack, yep. So, it ain't right down a little bit from the...
Willie Kay.
Yep.
So she's obviously going to have to go back up, but it looks like, probably in the top 10 or so at this point.
Unless for some reason the other boats overstood and went too far.
Absolutely.
But, I think Jeff's going to sail it in tight there and make it just a tight rounding.
All right, and now we have our graphics back up on screen, and see if we can figure out what's going on here. Number 1 is Slaughter. Number 2, Patent Pride. Number 3, Willie Kay. And 4 is Sassy Sue. There's a shot of It Ain't Right.
There she is.
And
so I mentioned the bagginess of the sail there at the bottom.
Yep.
Especially in light air. It's critical that you have that shaped correctly.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're just going to lose speed. And
so you got to have it almost like a scoop, right?
It's kind of like a scoop, yep. Going upwind and off the wind and downwind. It's important that you don't have the outhole too tight Otherwise, like I said, it just kills your speed.
There you go.
You want to have your crew placed just right so you're heeled a little bit. You don't want to have the boat too flat.
Yep.
That kills your speed as well.
And there you go. Some expertise in sailing coming from Captain Plug out of Abaco. Someone who's been sailing for some years.
I've been involved with sloop sailing for about 25 years now.
There you go.
Mostly as a competitor, but in recent times...
Just as a spectator.
As a spectator. And the commentary thing, I'm enjoying doing it. I'm very passionate about the sport, and I want my enthusiasm to rub off on as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
So we would grow the sport even more.
Great. Good stuff.
There's Woody K.
Woody K, yep.
So pretty much everybody's got on their the big sail today. You notice it goes right up to almost to the top of the mast. What you got to do in light air conditions.
Try to scoop as much of that wind as you can.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, I'm going to try to use my eyes to pick up some of the action. And I believe I see the mark straight ahead. So the mark is just...
Yep. So it's a triangle course. So they're on what we call the reach. They'll leave that marker to the port side or the left side of the boat and then sail down here closer to the beach where I see the gate, the 2 gate buoys over here.
Excellent. That's going to be interesting because we're going to definitely see who takes the gate on which side and how that plays out by the end of the race.
It's going to be very interesting. It didn't seem to be a favored side of the course so much. It looks like most of the people went up the middle as opposed to going way to the left or way over to the right towards Fox Hill Creek. So it will be interesting to see who chooses what side, who chooses to follow who.
All right, so we will just kind of stay with what we're seeing on TV and on the screens for now. When those boats get to that first mark is when we could definitively say who we think has the lead. But I like the fact that we've seen quite a bit of tacking back and forth, Captain Plug.
Yes.
One thing I don't like to see is a straight shot race done with no fun at all.
Not very exciting at all. No, nothing like a good tacking duel going up to windward, because so you can force a boat to make a mistake if you just start tacking.
Yes.
And they want to cover you, and then now they made a mistake, and now you've made up some ground.
Right. And if you're in the back, and the 2 boats in front of you get into attack and duel, and gives you an opportunity to slip in there.
Most definitely. So if you're in third and the boat 1 and 2 tangling with each other without making contact, then all that does is just slow them down, and they lose it. They get distracted because they're just focused on each other. And a 3rd place boat or a 4th place boat could just slip right in there, make that marker rounding, and next thing you know, you've lost 2 positions.
All right, in front of us right now, we're seeing some boats cut, others. I'm seeing 117, I think, is Rich, I believe.
Uncle John, 117.
Yes.
Uncle John.
Uncle John, 117, Uncle John.
Uncle John.
And who is 03? 03, Lady Eunice. And so in your far left, 03, Lady Eunice, up in there. And a boat whose name you hear from time to time in some of these regattas, sailing out of Black Point.
Definitely we hear her name.
And so it's going to be interesting on this first day to see who the top 10, I believe, is. Because...
well, you know, they say, I mean, the cream always rises to the top sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, unless a boat has a failure, an equipment failure or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of this race here, I think we'll have a pretty good idea who the contenders are going to be.
Yeah. Interesting, though, Cap, as we look out into Montague Harbor, that we have basically the fleet split in half, where there's half of the fleet right now sailing to the left side of the harbor, and another half, separated and on the right side. And I can't say from where we sit, who is who and which boats are where. But not sure how we ended up with this split where, sizable amounts on the right, sizable amounts on the left. I'm not sure whether that was because of where they started on the start line and you had to kind of go with what you had, or this is just how they ended up separating.
I think that's just how they've ended up separating, but, sometimes a boat will feel a little shift in the wind and they'll tackle to take advantage of that wind shift. And then, sometimes another boat will go, oh, hey, maybe that's the way I should go, and maybe there's good air over there. So that'll cause a split in the fleet. But unless one side or the other has really gotten extra air, when they get to that windward marker there, they're going to be close together again.
Yeah. There's a good shot at Whitty K.
Very fast boat.
And they are looking like they're about to go around the mark in first place. Is that it?
Well, they're definitely tacked over on the starboard there. Yep, they're around the marker.
And there goes Whitty K. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is the first boat that we've seen go around the mark. Windward mark, and wow. And we're getting information that Whitty K was actually the second boat around, that Bull Rich. Was it Bull Rich or Bull Reg?
Bull Reg.
Bull Reg went around in first place, and there you have it right in front of you. It's number 17, Buzzy Roll out of Exuma, coming around in first place, followed by Whitty K. And we're gonna have to find out where is the all-famous Sassy Sue and Stephen Knowles at this point.
So looking at the sails flopping around there, it looks like they're going to maybe come straight downwind to the gate.
And I can tell you, Cap, you talked about it earlier, that today was a big sail day. And what I see on the Whitty K, that looks like an A-class boat coming down right now. With that supersized sail. There's a good shot of H2O. Another boat at the Black Point trying to get to the mark. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first call going around the mark in first place, and this race is far from over, obviously, but it does help to get started to go around in first place, especially when there's a distance between you and the rest of the fleet, because you're able to sail clear.
Getting out into the clear air is a big advantage. If you're behind a few boats, the air coming off those sails is what we call disturbed air. Right. And that cuts your speed down if you're sailing in disturbed air. So if you're out front, you're getting good clean air over your sails, it's a definite advantage.
All right, and a couple other boats going around now. It looks like Slaughter now just making an attack. 47, H2O, trying to go around. I believe I saw Sassy Sue, number 10, somewhere in there.
So there's a pretty good cluster of boats going around the marker. Pretty good spread there. I'm assuming that's 1 and 2.
That's 1 and 2.
Pretty good spread there.
Yep.
But not something that
can't be.
Whitty K can't make up.
Yep.
All it takes is for Buzzy to lose his focus or have a pride dip in the water, knock some speed off.
Yep. One mistake. All right. And there's a tracker.
Aha.
And there's your course. And so, looking at the speed of Whitty K, still now sailing at 3.0. Bring it into view. We don't see Bull Reg on that, unless she doesn't currently have a tracker on her. So, Charles, I know you have been used to calling all types of other sports. What's your take on what you see happening now and this whole bringing the Regatta live?
I'm listening to you, Captain Plugger. When you could just say strike one ball in the bucket. This is very technical the way you're calling, and you have to, your eyes have to really be on sailing to see. Like I was amazed when he talked about. I'm also learning to it, and I always say never too old to learn. I'm also learning a lot about when he said that the wind, the sail had to be shaped like a spoon for a better gauge, and I was right here wondering. Why did I duck science class that day and wasn't focused on it? But I'm learning good. Just sitting back here, relaxing, enjoying the nice, cool breeze, better than being in the office. Folks are coming out here to Montague Bay. The sailing is starting to pick up. The action is heating up. And we see Bull Reg out there, the young coaches on the Widdy K, giving him a push. So it's good. It's shaping up to be a good regatta so far.
Yep, and a lot of the boats are close to the marker or around it, so the fleet is bunched back up with it. The two sides have sort of come together and now making the run down towards the gate here.
Right. And as they come to the gate, I think this is going to be, for us, the most exciting part of this regatta, or this race in particular, because I'm going to be curious, Cap, particularly with the first two boats.
But you still did not answer the question. Where is Sassy Sue?
We're going to get back to Sassy Sue. Let me finish my thought. Because I think having a gate now, as we said, you have two very good boats coming. Bull Reg, if nothing happens, changes, is going to go around in first place. Followed very quickly by Widdy K, another top boat. Is he going to follow Buzzy, or is he going to take a different route around the gate? I think I'm going to be very, very excited to see exactly what happens there.
That's a good question. You know, I mean, it'll be the skipper's call, obviously, but when they come to the gate here, some of the boats will go in one direction, and they will just need to pull their sail in and harden up, is the expression we use. Going in the other direction, you'll need to jibe the sail over from one side of the boat to the other. Which, if you have a bad jibe, that's going to knock speed off.
Right.
So, you know, the skippers, it's going to be their call whether they think one side or the other is more favorable with the wind and the wind speed that we have, and still looks to be pretty steady as far as the direction. It hasn't been very shifty.
I've heard some skippers speak about puff. There's a puff out there.
Yeah.
What do they mean about that and to avoid that?
Well, a puff of wind. Some days the wind speed is not steady. It comes in gusts. So the weather report will say 10 miles an hour, you know, gusting to 15. And so sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 12. Today's wind looks to be pretty steady, 5, 6, maybe 7 miles an hour. So it's not going to be too puffy today or too shifty, which just adds to the drama, you know. You get a little wind shift. It can change the whole makeup of the race. Boats that were behind, now they're in front. But when you have the steady wind, it becomes more of a skipper's duel. You really got to be watching your sail trim and things like that, watching for the wind shifts.
And you were able to do it in 2017 in the B and the C class.
B and the C class, yes, sir. Absolutely. That was quite an accomplishment for our team.
Talk about sailing here in Montague compared to other harbors.
The big thing that comes to my mind sailing here is the tide. Over here close to the Paradise Island and the Narrows and Athol Island, the tide can be really strong. That can be where the good wind is, and so you go that way, and then you're in the tide going the wrong way sort of thing. And over on the other side, closer to New Providence, up by Fox Hill Creek, there's some shallow water over there. I remember last year in the A class, Rough Justice, she was out front, and they ran aground. I
never seen that before. I'd never seen it before.
And they were way out front, you know. So, yeah, you got to watch the tide over there. You got to watch the shallows here. Today doesn't look too busy, but sometimes those tour boats going back and forth, they make massive wakes, and that can slow you down. But it's a great setting right here in the capital. You know, it exposes our sport to as many people as possible. And hopefully generates more enthusiasm.
Looks like everybody's just there taking a picture.
I mean, what a beautiful sight. Look at that.
It's a very beautiful sight.
They pose for a picture and they capture that right there.
And there you have it on your screens. For those of you who are not here, here's what we're seeing here in Montague Harbor. 30-something plus boats coming down, all with sails up. Look at that white sail. It is a majestic sight. It's a beautiful sight. I mean, if you have your cameras, that is a shot that you want to get for a postcard to send to your friends wherever they are, if they're not here in the Bahamas, to say, this is what you're witnessing here today. And so we're going to build the excitement to get as many of you to come on out here to Montague. By Sunday, we want this place to be jam-packed with spectators cheering these guys on in the grand finale, the best of the best happening in the final race on Sunday. But for those of you who are able to come out between today, Friday, and Saturday, please do come support the vendors. You've got a place to have food. If you want lunch out here, we have vendors represented from all of the islands, all of the different native foods available for you. And then you get to enjoy this nice cool breeze, escape from the office, call in sick, whatever you need to do. Get on out here to Montague and enjoy some of the sailing. Charles.
You're giving them some ideas for tomorrow. Friday, boss, I'm not feeling good. Then you come out here and your boss and you're at the same time. I thought you were sick. No, I thought you were sick. Okay.
All right, so Cap at the gate, Bull Reg.
All right, so Buzzy, he decided to just sheet in instead of jibing around. He's going to go over to the right side of the course.
And he would now be on a port tack?
No, he's on starboard tack.
Good or bad maneuver?
I'd say that's probably a good maneuver, judging by the first windward leg there. Right. But I mean, he's got a pretty good lead, so unless he messes up, or the wind drops off, I think he's in pretty good shape, and so is the number 2 boat.
Yeah, Winnie K will probably just follow him around the same.
I'm guessing that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, no, there's no advantage to him going the other way.
It'd be pretty risky, and he could end up losing second place. So
and like we
all about the points.
Indicated at the beginning of the broadcast, that's another pretty short bit of those sloops.
It's just a big, sorry, Charles, but I mean, Cap, there's a big gap between second place and third place.
There is.
I don't see, where anybody else is going to catch up to these first 2 boats.
But right now, it's just for positioning to get to Sunday. So
yes,
Sunday is the big day. He could win. Buzzy could win today. He could win tomorrow. And he could win Saturday. And then come Sunday.
But you don't want to come down to the bottom of the pile on the first day, because now you got to dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah, I mean that happened to the Indian right last year. The first race of the regatta, we took on some water, and I think we ended up finishing 17th or something like that. And we did make it into the final. But it was very difficult to get over all those points that you had. It's a low point system, so first place gets 1 point, second place gets 2.
17th place gets 17.
Yeah,
that's a big number to start off with.
Big number.
All right, so we definitely, I believe, have concluded who is in first and second, and we're going to
Interesting. I see that the lead boat has tacked over, and they're going to go in front of the rest of the fleet coming down there.
Yep.
So maybe they're seeing something over to the right side of the course.
Right.
Maybe a little wind shift or something like that. Be interesting to see how Woody K answers back to that.
From this position, it doesn't look like he is going to follow that.
Well, he'd have all those boats coming downwind to weave through.
Right.
All that disturbed air, so I think it's his best bet just to keep going over there, and then once he can clear the fleet, come back over on port tack.
Yeah, makes sense.
Once again, the opening day of the Best of the Best Regatta. Just got information that there's a DJ after going to for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
Tomorrow's Friday. They'll have the official opening ceremony at 7 o'clock, followed by Junk of the Rush Hour. Synergy Pawn Band at 8. Shadow Band. Johnny Cake will be performing. The always entertaining Bloody at 10. Veronica Bishop also performing tonight, and closing out tonight. Tomorrow night on Friday will be Gino D. So Saturday and Sunday the same. So you're going to go clubbing this weekend. You come and club on down here for free at the Monaco Foreshore and support these vendors and watch some good sailing and meet some good people along the way.
Absolutely.
And why not swing by the desk here and get a selfie with your favorite commentator?
How's things coming with the Abaco Regatta?
We're hoping for a C-class regatta in early November. I got to keep goosing MP John Pender to stay on top of it, but budget's been submitted to the ministry. They said they needed to do some fine-tuning on that, and yeah, we're looking forward to having that first weekend in November.
All right, so we have our third place boat about to make it to the gate.
Who's that?
And
third place.
I have yet to pick up, I believe it may be Zena, but I'm not, no, I don't think it's Zena. Not yet able to grab it. Yeah, we can get a shot close up on the third place boat.
All right, so Woody K, who was in second place there, they've tacked over, and it looks like they're going to try to weave their way through a few of the boats.
And if we can get back to the previous shot, I believe we would have been able to pick up the name of the third place boat. And there she is right there. And is that Slaughter? Slaughter. Going around.
All right.
She's playing that mark pretty close.
They jive. Maybe they're going to take the.
They're going to take the opposite side of the gate.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yep. Because I believe they've seen that that Bull Red has gone to that side of the course.
Yes.
So they're going to take the shortest way, and they're dragging the buoy with them.
Uh-oh.
So
That's a penalty.
Sure what that how they ended up taking the buoy with them.
I think that's 2 points for hitting the marker.
Whoa.
And I mean, they've really got the buoy all tangled up. So there you go. You sail yourself into third place, and now you're going to end up taking the gate with you. How that happened, I have no idea. So there's no longer a gate available for those boats that may want to take a gate, because the gate has now been shut closed by the crew of the Slaughter. Committee boat now needs to go and get the gate and bring it back.
Oh, yeah, boy, that really did get moved out of position.
Way out of position. And so, I mean, what do these boats now do who may have been intended on taking the opposite side of the gate? Unbelievable that we can have such a critical error right at the gate. And so the guys on Slaughter, I believe, are going to be extremely angry with themselves for an infraction like that with nobody close to you. I mean, how do you play the gate, the mark that close, Cap? I mean,
well, it looks like the mark they hooked was the one that was to our left.
Yes.
So the one that, if you're going to round and head up over towards Creek,
that didn't move.
That one didn't move. So the boats that take that marker are good, and it looks like most of them heading to do that.
Right.
If you were wanting to go the other way and head over towards Paradise Island, that marker's way out of position. So I guess they'll probably just end up all taking the other route.
And just going around. On a starboard tack. Port tack, sorry.
They're on port tack,
Port tack, yeah.
When we say starboard and port tack, so if you're in the boat and you're looking towards the bow or the front of the boat, your right-hand side is the starboard and your left-hand side is the port. So when we say the boats are on starboard tack, the wind is coming over the starboard side or the right-hand side of the boat as you're facing the bow. If you're a starboard tack boat and you got another boat coming, you're going to get close and they're on port tack, the starboard tack boat has the right of way. The port tack boat has to give way. And sometimes with these marker roundings, that can get a little
dicey,
cantankerous. People try to, well, you know, I was in front of you enough that I could do that. Well, maybe you weren't. So.
And we just were speaking about how clean and everything the race was going, and wonder what happened.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly. Well, there's got to be something hanging from their boom that snagged the buoy and picked it up. What that is or could be, have no idea. But
it looked like they were a little close to the marker and maybe thinking about going around the other way, and then at the last minute decided to jibe over and go the other way. And so if they ran over the anchor rope, it's possible it could have got hooked between the keel and the rudder.
Okay, now I understand.
Now, let me ask you a question, Cap. Would that count as hitting the mark?
Oh, yeah.
If you snag the anchor rope for the mark?
Yeah, that's a hit.
Yeah.
So they'll be penalized too?
I'm pretty sure it's 2-point penalty for hitting the marker, yep.
And I believe we're seeing our first retirement out of the race. The boat sailing number 41. I don't see that sail registered, so I can't say. Unless that's 14. If that's 14, then that would be.
No, we don't have 41.
Cobra 2 is sailing with 14. So.
We got a couple of boats that have decided to go to the left side of the course. So we're going to be pretty split, heading back up on the second leg to the windward marker there. So whoever gets the shifts and the puffs,
yep,
it'll be to their advantage.
All right, a couple of boats now going around the mark. We have number 45. New Eyes sailing out of Rollville. 03 Lady Eunice now going around. And these are pretty much the back of the fleet. Ashley B in front of you.
If you're serious about your sailing, I don't care where you are in the fleet, you go as fast as you can. You keep sailing. You do not slack off.
Yeah.
You don't give up and say, oh, you know, we're not going to be in the top 10. Because you never know what might happen in front of you.
Yep.
And so you just drive as hard as you can.
And keep sailing.
The boats that were in the back seem to have caught up. The lead is not as big.
No, they definitely made up some good progress on that downwind there. Now it's going to be real interesting to see how they end up at the second.
Get into the money bags.
And I believe Fisher, our good buddy from our earlier broadcast, Dwayne Higgins, sailing Cobra 2. I believe he's retired from.
Oh dear.
From this race.
Probably equipment failure.
Probably had some equipment failure.
Oh wow, sorry to hear that.
So sorry to see that happen to Dwayne. We'll have him in tomorrow and find out what exactly happened. And so a DNF in this race basically puts closure.
Much closure, but still 30, 34.
Yeah, with 34 boats, you probably could not still get into the top 10 with a DNF.
Pretty much impossible. Well, the boats that went to the left have, some of them have tacked over. I still think the right side is the way to go, but we'll know when they get to the windward marker. Not sure where Whitty K ended up.
On your screens now, we have a shot of some of the fleet still on a starboard tack, and we have some others on a port tack. I believe, Cap, we see now your boat just finally making her way around the gate, 72.
There she is, yep.
And
I don't know what happened on this.
It doesn't look too good for her in this race.
No, something must have happened on that upwind there, or they got caught in that knot of boats in the downwind where you're just in that disturbed air.
Right. But again,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and I believe once you're able to come across the finish line in the top 20, your chances are still pretty decent of making it to Sunday. But you cannot afford a DNS or a DNF.
No.
At all. And I don't know, Cobra 2 may have gotten her act together because it looks like she's trying to get back into the race. Let's see. And there's a good shot of Whitty K sailing all by herself. Across the gate and on the first leg, in second place. I believe she's probably still holding on to that second place. Sail right now, cap looking nice and tight.
Yeah, they're trimmed in nice.
Holding a good wind. Beautiful sailing right now. And with today's weather conditions, most of the C-class boats carrying a crew of 4, you think?
Yeah, it's generally 3 to 5, but I'd say 4 to 5. I think we have 5 on It Ain't Right today.
Okay. And for those of you who may not understand why you have
4 or 5,
the amount of crew members, ballast and weight, Cap?
Definitely. I mean, these C-class boats are 17-foot length overall. They have a extremely large sail on it for the size. Yes, they have lead ballast and everything in the keel and below decks, but you still need some people to go out on the windward side, on the pry, to help keep the boat up. So having the right amount of crew is, the right sail on a light air day is important.
And we have another boat looks like it's going to be retired. And Charles, we're going to have Richard Ross sitting in with us
Son Sally
for the next race. So Richard is going to have to explain himself.
Be able to give you a first-hand report.
Give us a first-hand report.
It's going to be some logical explanation that doesn't really calculate what he's really going to be. That's the way I can really put it. But I got to give him the courage award. He always brings that boat to all the regattas.
Absolutely.
So, Richard, if Richard don't come to regatta's no fun.
Yeah, there's a good shot of number 17, Bullridge, sailing out of Exuma. And I made a prediction with a sailor this morning about the outcome of today's race.
See?
And he indicated that he thought today was going to be a clean sweep by Long Island in all of the classes. And I told him I thought Exuma was going to get 3 out of the 4. If everything holds still as it is now,
that's 2 out of 2.
It's 2 out of 2 for Exuma.
Well, they say talk is cheap, right?
You got to go there and sail the race. And so, Scott Harden, I told you I would give Long Island B for sure today. And even that, I believe, when I said that, I totally forgot that Lonesome Dove was sailing. And I may have to retract even that one. And you may have to duke it out in the A class. And hopefully take a win there. But it looks like Exuma is going to start the day off with 2 guns, as they call it. And there's Bullridge. I mean, she is definitely sailing a good race. Obviously got off to a very good start.
Yep.
The plug.
My guess is it's going to be a 2-lap race.
Yeah.
So they're on the second upwind leg now. They'll round the marker and then come back downwind and finish through the gate there.
Yeah. And Bullridge about to go around that mark right now.
They're looking really good.
So I'm trying to figure out what we see happening here because I know she did not go around that mark.
Yes, son.
May have to tack once or twice more to get up there. Well, what's going on here?
She didn't make the mark, and so she has to now go back to the mark. And again, here's one of these errors out on the race course that can cost you a race. Thankfully, I think she had a big enough lead on everybody else that it may not affect her position. And I'm not sure how they missed that mark completely because...
There goes the win once again.
I thought maybe it was a remote control. Oh, okay, so the TV monitor in front of us has just rotated from the breeze has increased a mile an hour or 2. I can feel it on my face. So they're getting an increase out on the race course, which will just increase the boat speed a little bit there. maybe make your point a little bit higher, which you can do in heavier air. Yeah.
Give it quite a workout here. That definitely means the wind has picked up.
No doubt about it.
As we get into the big boys coming up, the B and the A class following this.
Should be some good competition there. Less boats, but I don't mean to say it won't be good competition in both classes. Can never count out in the B class. Susan Chase, Lonesome Dove, Lady Sonia. You know, they're all good boats there. And, so it looks like they might have a little bit more wind than the E and the C class this morning here. At least pretty well spread out right now.
Beautiful sailing conditions for the C class.
And so I'm not sure what that mistake by Bullredge may end up affecting the outcome of the race. I believe Whitty Kay would have gained some ground, got a little bit closer.
But the lead was quite a big lead.
Thankfully for Bullredge.
Yeah.
But, you know, a critical mistake.
Yeah, he can't make that on a Sunday.
These two boats appear to be on the downwind.
Yeah, they're coming back now towards the gate. That's your first two, Whitty Kay. And there's a good shot of Whitty Kay there, out of Long Island.
Whitty Kay out front?
No, I think
Bullredge still out front?
Bullredge still holding the lead, slight lead. But that mistake where, for some reason, they somehow, I don't know, clearly did not see the mark and had to go back around and make a complete 360.
Yeah, that was a strange maneuver.
Very strange indeed. You know, on a Sunday, you make that kind of mistake, and there goes your first place.
You got it.
As you can see,
much closer here.
Much closer race.
On the second downwind, Whitty Kay made a pretty good distance. Our rules don't allow the boat that's behind to get right behind the boat in front of them.
To block the wind.
Which is called bedding, blocks the wind. So you're supposed to stay off to one side or the other. The boat that's overtaking has to keep clear.
And I can tell you, Whitty Kay now it seems to have gotten some fresh legs, and she looks like she's gonna just walk past Bullredge.
She's definitely got a good burst of speed going on there.
What a race now. That critical error now, it's costing him.
And you see now some
Look at the bottom of the
defensive
sail. Look at the bottom of the sail on Buzzy's boat. It's tight.
Yeah.
Compared to Whitty Kay, it's got that bag in it.
Yeah.
And man,
and Buzzy now trying to sail defensively, and Kuchar is not gonna have any part of that. He's gonna just sail under him, since Buzzy wouldn't allow him to go over the top.
Right. Like I say, the overtaking boat has to keep clear. And
it really just depends on where the gate is compared to where they are on the course. Whether Buzzy's going to be able to hold him off.
Nope.
He's going to have to work real hard.
Yeah.
Whitty Kay is a fast boat downwind.
It is.
I've seen them go around us too many times. I think they're both pretty equal in sail size. So now it's trim and focus with the crew and the skipper.
And Buzzy's going to cost me my bet if he keeps us up there.
Just as you talk, that's the second time for the day.
And he's looking back and looking at the nose of Whitty Kay creeping up. All he can hope for now is that this race ends quickly. And, you know, we can look at them coming straight down the harbor from our vantage point here.
Yeah, then
and it's very close. It's
close. And Whitty Kay has enough time and distance to make that up if they do it right. third place, I'm not sure how close they are. This is what we were talking about earlier. If the two lead boats start tangling with each other, another boat can slip right in and take the place.
Yeah, I don't see Bull Red being able to hold Whitty Key off anymore. I think. There goes my bet. There goes my bet. Out the window.
How could you give up a lead like that?
Unbelievable. That type of mistake out there on the water with nobody close to you, and you miss the mark. And Buzzy will be...
But you were saying that even though he missed the mark, he had a comfortable lead, that he was all right. But the Whitty Key must have found a strong wind somewhere.
Well,
he had a comfortable lead until he had to go and make a complete 360.
Yeah, that's you don't see people doing that very often in sloop sailing. So they must have made some miscalculation in navigation there and caught themselves, but it looks like it's cost them.
Yep. There's going to be no stopping the Whitty Key, I don't think, for the rest of the race in.
She's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, she's looking pretty good. She is looking pretty good. And so we're going to just sit and watch on your screens to the right, Whitty Key, number 44, to the left, 17, Bull Ridge. And we got a boat that's kind of sitting in the middle.
I think they're still on the upwind.
Still on the upwind and not going anywhere.
Nope.
But I don't think that she is going to be in the line. Both Bull Ridge and Whitty Key will come by without any issues.
Judging from what I'm seeing, if I'm seeing right, it looks like it's going to be pretty close from third on back.
Yes.
1 and 2 kind of stepped out a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So those fellas back there, they're fighting for every inch they can gain on the boat in front of them. You want to keep the boat that's behind you, and the boats in front of you, you want to catch it and get around them. That's the goal. Unless you're out front, then you just want to keep everybody behind you.
Yep.
Man, what a gorgeous day, man. I'd like to think the weather would stay like this the whole weekend, but it's not looking too promising for Sunday in particular.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to pick up, eh?
Yeah, it could be some heavy air. During the skipper's meeting night before last, they were talking about the upper limits. 18 would be the upper limit for the E class, the smallest boats, and then it'd be 20 or above would be a no-no for all the rest of the fleet.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Well, some of the sailors are saying we can sail the bigger boats in 20 knots, but I look at it from the race committee's point of view. It's safety.
Yes.
Safety is paramount. And so, yeah, maybe you can sail in heavy air, put on a small sail, but you run a risk. It's a higher risk of something breaking, somebody getting hurt.
Right.
And we don't want to see that. It's just...
Cap, so an interesting development. The finish mark has been moved.
They brought it close to the shore for the spectators right here in front of us.
So they brought it close to the shore.
But they've also changed the trajectory these boats are going to have to take.
Because now the advantage now may be to Bull Ridge, based on the fact that the mark is moved.
Almost more of a reach now to the finish line, which is a little faster than straight downwind. That could play into Bull Ridge's favor because they're now the higher boat.
Absolutely, and I wonder why it would have taken them this long to change the finish mark, unless they would have said that to the boats at the beginning.
That's one of the things that Bahamas sloop sailing could tighten up on. Our rules don't state about when you could move the marker. In international sailing, you're supposed to move that before the first boat gets around the previous mark.
So that she could...
So that everybody knows.
Right.
Instead of it moving when boats are midway, now I got to change because the finish line has been moved over here. So it's
Will they move it because of the shift in the wind?
I think they probably moved it more from the spectator perspective.
Yeah.
You know, bring the finish in close to close enough to come through the line and then tack over, go to the anchorage. So it just brings the action closer to the spectators.
All right, and so we're now looking at the finish line just being right in front of us. And we'll have to see whether
it's pretty close between those two top boats.
it's going to be even a closer finish. Now, and I'm going to assume that one of the committee boats is
They both are
be one of the marks, and the buoy.
Now, there's another marker over here behind the screen.
Oh, so they've completely changed the dynamics of this race.
Yeah, it's a big shift over. You know, it brings them closer to the TV cameras over there on top of Fort Bonning.
Yeah, for sure.
It is, after all, a show. I mean, you know, we're all competitive sailors and everything, but I mean, without fans and spectators, you know, what are we doing? So we want to put on a good show for the fans and the viewers.
Yeah, I believe Whitty K will probably, as long as she can make the mark without having to tack, will still cross in first place.
Yeah, they're not going to need to tackle, Jod. Whitty K will finish probably pretty close to the finish line here on the right side.
Yeah.
Be the shortest line for them to take.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any panic. Good shot of coaches and his crew. They're just kind of cruising. And these, I'm only sailing with 3 members on Whitty K today.
No, 4.
4?
So, yeah, I mean, a second place finish, I mean, you want to win every race you go in, but a second place finish in a points regatta like this, you know, that's, there's a bunch of boats back there that wish they were going to finish second place.
Yeah. All right, and there's your sprint to the finish. First and second in front of you. Bull Reg had a commanding lead for most of the race. Critical error on the last upwind run. Completely missed the mark. Had to do a 360. And
yeah, I don't know who the bowman is on that boat,
must have
but
been sleeping. Had to have been asleep.
Yeah, it's the bowman's responsibility to identify where the marker is and make sure the skipper knows it's going in the right direction.
But the thing is that they were way above the mark when they realized that the mark was below them, and they hadn't gone around.
I'm wondering if the windward marker was moved.
I don't know.
I didn't see any activity to suggest that.
I didn't see any activity to suggest that either. So just a mistake.
Yep, it happens.
Falling asleep at the wheel, they say.
Yep.
They come down the stretch.
Yes, they're still fairly tight.
Yeah, who's it gonna be?
Yeah, I can't. This shot doesn't really say. It's
like
close.
2 horses coming down the final stretch of the Kentucky Derby.
Whoever gets the best win in that last 100 yards.
And the Whitty K fellas trying to shake that boat across the line right now. That's, trust you me, what they're doing is intentional. They're trying to scoop wind under that. Bull Reg looks like she's found just a little bit. It's going to be extremely close, gentlemen.
Very close finish.
And I may get an Exuma win after all. I'm going to cross my fingers and
now you're glad that they moved the marker so the fans can be able to see it.
Extremely happy.
Yeah, so they can see.
This one is neck and neck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what sailing is all about. This is what we come for.
It'd be difficult for us to see who crosses first.
Yeah,
I mean, they are neck and neck.
From this angle, we won't be able to tell. We're going to see whoever throws their hand up in the air. That will give us an idea, but it looks like Bull Reg may just have inched herself back into this one. The guys on the Whitty K trying to scoop that boat across the line.
Whitty K just put the boom in the water. That slows them down. Man,
it is neck and neck. It is,
my God.
Oh, it is what you. Oh, it is going to be.
Oh, what a pretty shot there to see how
Look at that.
close they are.
Look at that.
Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it?
Boy.
Who's going to get it? Look at that photo finish. Oh, my goodness.
Too hard to tell.
Whitty K, I believe, got it by a nose.
She stuck the boom in the water again.
By a nose, a photo finish to the end.
I'm not sure they know who won because I don't see any hands up in the air.
Well, the Whitty K guys threw their hands up.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, so I believe they think that they've gotten it by a nose. What a finish. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot ask for a race any closer than what we just witnessed, Cap.
But you see the separation between 1 and 2 and the rest of the fleet.
Yes.
But yet, I mean, it's still such a competitive class that you have 2 boats that were neck and neck in that last 100 yards there. It could have been either one of them to get the win. And I got goosebumps from that finish.
Absolutely. I believe if we hadn't seen the mistake by Bullredge,
the race would have been over long.
It would not have been as close.
But this is good what we need for the fans.
Sailing.
It's nice for sailing.
That's why you say it's not over until the fat lady sings.
Yeah, that's right.
And
we still don't know who wins.
Cap, you said it early in the race that you don't give up.
No,
right?
sir.
Keep sailing.
You do not.
Keep sailing.
So the next three boats look to be fairly close. Two of them for sure. Hard to say who they are.
And there's Buzzy lecturing his crew members, right? Lecturing them. Gave away a race, right? And he's blaming the bowman, who I believe is his son, and he doesn't want to hear his dad right now.
He's a very vociferous skipper.
Yeah.
Just what is it that you want to do? And we want to have a good time. We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Are you ready for the holiday hustle? Every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m., tune into What's Trending to slay the deals with Shop Smart. Shop smarter, save bigger, and score the best gifts with offers you can't beat. And when you go to the store, tell them What's Trending sent you for 50% off on selected items. Don't miss out. That's every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. on What's Trending. It's time to shop and spread the holiday cheer.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love. And I believe that it is love that truly draws people. And so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
We've heard you. We know you're tired of the reruns. We're coming back, bigger and better, on The Legal Brief. I'm your host, Ramona Farquharson. Stay tuned.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
Are you ready for the holiday hustle? Every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m., tune into What's Trending to slay the deals with Shop Smart. Shop smarter, save bigger, and score the best gifts with offers you can't beat. And when you go to the store, tell them What's Trending sent you for 50% off on selected items. Don't miss out. That's every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. on What's Trending. It's time to shop and spread the holiday cheer.
Here in Mill Valley, folks seem to do a lot of wishing around this time of year. I guess wishing and Christmas just naturally go together. Let me show you what I mean. Once upon a Christmas, miles and miles away, there was a little girl named Ivy. And Ivy lived with many other children in Miss Shepherd's home for orphans.
Ivy, why didn't you speak up before? All the other children have been taken in for Christmas. Somehow we just forgot about you.
That's okay.
And now it's too late. I'd take you home myself, but I have to visit my sister.
I've got a place to go.
Oh? Where?
My grandma's house.
No. No? You don't have a grandmother. Well, seems the only thing we can do now is send you to the Appleton Infants Home. You remember that, don't you? But it's just for Christmas. Then everything will be back to normal. Come on now. We'll just make the train. don't like sending you all the way to Appleton by yourself.
I'll be all right.
Well, I suppose. It's not that far. Now remember, it's the last stop.
I remember.
Don't get off before that.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. Your present. Merry Christmas.
Hi, I'm Ivy. Make a wish, okay? I wish I was going to my grandma's. She'd have a great big Christmas tree and lots of presents for me. Especially a doll. That's what I really want. Maybe this is a doll. A beautiful Christmas pencil box. Oh.
This is Holly, the newest doll in the toy shop right here in town.